we make it, or President Trump makes it a federal issue going forward. So I think it's the only way it was ever going to work. Like having 50 plus different regulations to get these companies to try and follow would just be crazy. But here it is. Here's MSOS, huge move after the close yesterday. If you're looking for just the ETF, again, MSOS, the one to look at, $5 holding as resistance right now. We were above it briefly this morning. It has come back below it, but I mean, pick one individually. They're all higher here this morning, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Sir, everybody. Happy Friday for sure. Although, if you're a Lululemon shareholder, you're happy today. Broadcom did everything, almost everything right, and it didn't seem to matter. What are you going to do?
I mean, these tech names they can't get out of their own way right now.
They're top, and yeah, they can't. They really can. I mean, Oracle yesterday was down, but at least they were able to bounce a little bit. The other thing is, if you had the misfortune of a matchup against Kyle Pitts in fantasy.
Oh, I saw. Or your guy, Bijan Robinson. Yeah.
Bijan Robinson is supposed to be good,
but not that many points.
Kyle Pitts.
Both outperformed.
You see the stat?
No, I didn't even.
Someone posted this. This dude scored 7% of his career fantasy points in a single night in the first round of the playoffs. And no good teams have that dude. I almost said something else. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Can you tell that in the playoffs? Well, in our playoffs, we actually, instead of having like individual matchups, it's like the semifinals or the quarterfinals are like the 4 teams in the quarterfinals all play each other, and then the top 2 advance instead of individual matchups. So it's like myself and Sean, and then a couple of other guys, and the other dude has Kyle Pitts. Yeah, fun times, right?
Our broadcast, I think, is working right now. Jade Doctor says our broadcast is not working, but I think it is.
Refresh.
Oh, YouTube was having problems. Okay. Yeah, look, having problems is not Nvidia. Nvidia just gets a story right now that may be increasing some production there in China based on China demand. So a little bit of a bump up there in the Nasdaq and a pull back in right now. But yeah, man, LU. I mean, here we go, man. New management now. What a great name. What a great stock. We've been pumping this stock's tires, unfortunately, since right here, where we bought. I thought this was going to happen last quarter. So we bought a little bit before last quarter right there at like probably around $200, right before the day, thinking that we were going to get some kind of an announcement. And then we're lucky enough to do our 3-day rule, and we stuck with it. And that actually held that bottom. And now Lululemon rewarding us today a little bit. We still got to hold above this $200 right now on Lululemon, but up 9% with a short float of around 9%. So, yeah, I think Lululemon can continue to work. Might sell out of it. I don't know. It's a nice move higher there right now. Then as the boys talked about and Neil hinted a little bit, yeah, Broadcom downside. Good EPS, good look forward, but then they didn't give a full year guide. And that sort of shook this stock just a little bit. But yeah, they beat on the top and the bottom line and still heading southbound right now. And then obviously, as we hinted at as well, MSOS. I mean, these stocks have been disaster for a long time. So even the fact that it's up a little bit here today, 35%, nothing that, to bat an eye at, but we are coming right into a level that we've already been, like we were here October already. It would have been great to have dip bought that. That's pretty much the only way to, be too happy with this. You had to have bought this name in the last month, otherwise, or just been holding it through all of this. Like down to $2, up to $5 again. I mean, maybe we run on this. I think Sharif, that's a good point. Like, it shouldn't be classified as some of these other major drugs. We'll just wait to see what winds up happening. But the Nasdaq's down again, so will we hold red today? I think maybe we will. I mean, there's been some, turnaround in different stocks, right? As people sell their tech bags now and get into other names. You're seeing a little bit of a bump up there in Eli Lilly. We saw crazy moves in financials yesterday. A good name like a FedEx or something maybe could be bought here as the transports look to get going back to the upside again as well. We used to have that one guy that loved the transports. Oh, I forget his name. Chris. Oh, what was his name? And he was with us for a long time. He used to be on the recap show with us. I forget his name.
Brecher?
Brecher. That's what it is, Chris Brecher, yeah.
For a second there, I was like, what is Chris's last name?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I remember it's like the first time I thought it was, I mistakenly said Blecher.
Oh. Yeah, he talked about the transport. So we'll see FedEx with a big day here, big couple days off of the Fed. So we'll see if that's starting to break out a little bit as well, FedEx. So yeah, man, different names. Gold still going around there. Bitcoin's nicely pumping, which is really nice to see. Well, pumping. I mean, it's 92,000. So that's nice. We, off that 90, so we don't want to hang around too much there. And then, yeah, did he have Ren and Stimpy on his shelf? What's up, Jay Bronson? But yeah, he had some snakes too. That guy, Chris Bretcher, as well, or his son did or something. But I hope he's doing well. A 394 break there, all the way. Look at $400 right now for GLD, and we are very, very close to all-time highs again on gold. This was actually a really smart one that I dip bought. I wanted to diversify, and we just went over to something completely different than equity, and we went into stock, GLD. I know it's not completely different, but the way this has been moving, pretty happy with that one. Wow, that's real small. Like
this headline came just as we were going on air there.
Yeah, well, a couple minutes earlier.
Increasing production to the H200 chips, and you got a decent bounce in Nvidia as well. And oddly enough, like this wasn't even gonna. All the chip names were weak this morning. Whoops, what happened there? All the chip names were weak this morning, at least early on, and now all of a sudden, looking distinctly different. It was a great recovery for Nvidia yesterday, and now you are above finally. Like we finally got above the peaks. It was a V-shaped recovery that didn't break out that 182. So I'm oddly enough going to be bullish on Nvidia today. I don't know about AMD because AMD still there's a level on AMD that just feels like it can be short. But yeah, the demand for those H200 chips obviously is a big deal. And if they're going to increase production, then we know their margins may not stay high forever, but it's like whatever. Right now they're high, so that means more money for the biggest and the baddest here.
More money
with Nvidia. More money, more problems.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. And speak about that, I'm checking the old account here because got to figure out what I'm going to do with this Lulu. Okay, well, we'll see what's going on.
Technical
right now.
setup. The funny thing is, to me, Lulu was just a technical setup on the monthly, and it almost like it's good that they had a good report. But this seems to me like if we're really bouncing off this, you can't see that because the news story. Can we take that off the board for a quick second? There we go. Look how clean this went off the 200 period on the monthly for Lululemon. Like there's your little triple bottom. This is the candle that went green. So to me, like you got the buy here, and there's room to this area, 225, 250, and then 300 to the 50 period, 325. Like those are the two targets. End of story, like pure technical break on Lulu. And if they're going in your direction, it doesn't necessarily hurt. Obviously, who knows how long the CEO search will end up lasting. But yeah, we'll see. It looks like they found a nice little bottom here for sure.
Yeah, really happy about that, and I hope that you guys got yourselves in it as well. Lululemon cooking right there, and then again, the other retail play that I'm in is Target. Wow, okay, that's $97 now. So this continues to work. What a rebound for Target, man. Maybe I have to check out this one. I think Lulu's more in my TFSA, my tax-free savings, so I might take some out. I think I have Target in the other place. But, look at Target, man, just touching the 200 period moving average right now. This is a nice story for them as well, coming back to the upside here as retail continues to bounce around. Remember, we're heading into the holiday season if we're in it right now. So that should be good for retail, and we'll just see. We'd had some good bump ups in the credit card space as well recently. Should help that we got some nice lifts on MasterCard. We were just talking about these yesterday. MasterCard's a New York stock. Okay, that's been working out. There's that bump there from yesterday. So we'll see if that continues to move forward as well. Visa, MasterCard, AXP, and then all the banks, man. JP Morgan, what a battle back yesterday. Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and again, net interest loans. Obviously getting a little bit better here with the lowering of the rates. They'll see if they can switch that around and offer some more products to people at a cheaper rate, get them cooking over there. But yeah, 318 right now for JP Morgan. It's going to be a good one here. We really like all these names today. I have written on here, short on the Nasdaq, long on Nvidia. Those are the two things that I have written down so far. Short Nasdaq, long Nvidia. So all this could change. It's only 8:11 right now. No Randy today because it's a Friday. So You know, hopefully he's doing well and watching from home. And
Coffee latte.
yeah, I'll get this coffee going. I got it as well in the old Yeti here. So
Man, that's hot.
cheers on that one. It'll stay hot for a while. All right, boys. Yeah, good news there for Nvidia. I mean, thanks for putting up that story. Yeah, that seems like that will start to rally the market a little bit. Good to see some positive news in the chip space. It's been a while since that one, and these just have to get off the edge right now. And I think they're doing that. I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole move into China there? You like the H200 availability over there, Sharif and Brendan?
Just reading through this a little bit further, I mean, it kind of sounds like they're just kicking the tires a little bit. So like what they're saying is they're reaching out to potential customers who want the H200 and gauging interest on whether or not they should actually increase production for the H200, which I'm sure the answer will be yes. They want as many as they could probably get their hands on, but it sounds like it's more just conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to gauge interest. What the wild card for me is, Brendo, whether or not the regulator there is going to give them the nod, right? We already saw the Chinese regulator meet with their tech companies, the Babas, the Tencents, the ByteDances, and you know, they want to get a feel for what they're going to use it for. Now, we've seen this before where, you know, military-linked, state-backed institutions were completely banned from using the H20, whereas other tech companies were persuasively dissuaded from using it. So I'd like to see how the Chinese regulator is going to deal with this, because I feel like that's really where the buck stops. If the Chinese regulator says no, then there's no. But in addition to that, we know that the H200 is a 2023 chip. So do they even have the capacity to make this on scale if they have the demand in China for it? Because you know the Americans are not going to be buying the H200, right?
No, and will it require maybe restarting some sort of production line or increasing capacity on some sort of production line? So again, if you missed it, Nvidia coming out saying that they're speaking with potential customers in China regarding the H200 and the potential for increasing the manufacturing side of things. Just be aware, we were supposed to get Fed's Paulson making some comments. I did see those come through. Looks like a prepared remarks type of situation. There was nothing regarding policy in it. I am also seeing comments here from Fed's Goolsbee coming through right now as well. That was scheduled for 10:35. Maybe there's another one coming up. So a couple of Fed speakers speaking so far early on this morning here in the pre-market. Wanted to show this real quick. Interesting chart here for Tesla. We got some US-based sales numbers for Tesla specifically, but these are the top, 20? Yeah, top 20 selling electric vehicles in the US for November 2025. 22,800 for the Tesla Model Y. It was down 26%, but still number one on this list. It's worth noting some of the lower priced, smaller vehicles, lower priced because of that. Chevy Equinox, Ford Mustang E, Honda Prologue, which I've seen actually a couple of those rolling around in Toronto now. They're actually an interesting looking car. But all of these, 3, 4, and 5 on this list, moving higher. Tesla's still 1 and 2, but down on the actual monthly sales numbers.
Yeah, it's not a good look, Breno. Here's what I'm seeing. You know, a close to a 4-year low. That's what this this article from Reuters is saying. In November, that is, of course, for the month of November, total sales fell about 23%, 39,800 vehicles. Compare that to last year, November 2024, it was 51,500 vehicles. Yeah, it's a tough look, Brendo. I mean, you can blame many different things. You can say Elon Musk and his political affiliations, or you could also say an aging vehicle lineup, right? And quite frankly, even Joseph was talking about this on the midday yesterday. Marquez Brownlee reviewing the SU7, basically making comparisons that, you know, basically his conclusion was, Brando, it's an $80,000 car being sold for $40,000 US dollars. I know those cars aren't available now, but you're basically seeing what's available out there. You're making the comparisons to Tesla, and you're saying maybe this is not the best product.
And it's just not. It doesn't click. The math isn't mathing, as they say. The interesting part of that chart is this just a general economic type of situation where, because you're seeing the lower price, smaller vehicles moving up on that list, you know, some of the higher priced, you know, Teslas and higher models for Tesla moving down as far as individual sales go, maybe it's just one of those situations where given the economic conditions, lots of layoffs, lots of people losing their jobs. We're seeing people going for the lower price models instead.
Exactly, and that's what we're hoping for. We were hoping for that Model 2 or Model Q. What we got from Elon Musk was just a basic version of the Model Y and Model 3. Yes, the price is lower, but it really doesn't move the needle enough to get that huge cohort of, sub 50,000, sub 40,000 purchase price. To get into the EV market, because that's been one of the things. Obviously, range is one of them, of course, but price has been a prohibitive barrier to entry.
Now, all of that said, as we've been talking about on this show as well for a while now, the market already pricing in the fact that the narrative around this company is no longer about the electric vehicle sales, and the shift to robots and autonomy and AI has, is well underway. Price right now, guys, telling that story and then some. We're back to the upside, almost to session highs here for Tesla right now.
Almost. And it's not just session highs for Tesla, because you essentially in the afternoon had a double top at 448. At 9:30, you had a flat bottom break at 448. On Fed Day, you had a breakout when Powell was on the podium from $448. And if you kind of throw out the 9th and then just go back to Monday, like Monday fails $448. It's kind of a randomish level, to be honest. But until it breaks, if we're not breaking that price out, this doesn't mean anything. I think if some of these crazy wicks from last night, that's crazy. No, if we're not breaking out the 448 on Tesla, I think the momentum, especially on a Friday, you could see some resistance even at the 50 level as well. So I'm not terribly bullish unless it's above that price after the open. But the other story is, come on. We all know, look, anybody can say what they want about the valuation, and that's all well and good. But what's happened this week is kind of reestablishing the 50 period on the daily and right back into this chop zone from 420 to 470. So Tesla is it's firmly reestablished this range for now. And with the 50 period holding, I think that's where your support's going to be at 35. I said that the other day. And then I thought, what was weird? It was on Fed Day that I was like, oh, we might get to see that 435. And then we didn't on Fed Day because the market went up. But that's still in play for your near-term support in Tesla, but it's nowhere near it. So you can say whatever you feel about the valuation. I agree. It's if you evaluate it on current metrics, it doesn't make any sense up here. But then so do a lot of stocks. Right now, the buyers have come back into fold above the 50 period. I prefer the support in the 30s than necessarily all the way up here. But that's not impossible that we see that. The other day I was like, we're probably not going to get there, and we didn't. But certainly, if the market were to drop, that's where I'd want to be picking up today.
Yeah, look, we can all, judge whatever this sales number means, but at the end of the day, the market is telling us everything we need to know, and they don't care about it. They actually think it's a good thing. It's up against the Nasdaq right now. The Nasdaq is down. The stock is flat. So yeah, back and forth. It's fun to talk about the numbers and everything, but this continues to work once they digest everything. If this was down 3 or 4%, then I'd be like, okay, we're still focusing on whatever these car numbers are. You're still the leader of the pack. They are losing market share. That's going to happen. Guess what? That's going to happen with Nvidia. That's going to happen with every single product, except for maybe Apple products, where you're going to lose market share. And it's just it's not really on my radar today, but this is a really good break area, I think, this 448. We couldn't get above it yesterday. We tried to. Once we did it, man, we really fell down $4 or $5. We made it all the way back up to there, falling back now into this news. Just yesterday, we had Broadcom. That wasn't great for them. So I think this 448 is probably going to be a decent area to look today. For dip buys, yesterday it's always pretty wild, in the morning, and we were really, really choppy. Eventually we got going. So it's not like VWAP held or anything yesterday. This 50 period moving average, which was the pink, that sort of gave us the short until it broke back about 444 again. And then we rode it all the way up, and it was pretty choppy as we kept on going. Broke it, finally made the move down. So I think if we're going to use some sort of a support, right now you have VWAP and you have the 50, everything's right here, right now at 446. So maybe this is a decent area to think about a long right now on Tesla. I got to get rid of this wick, but on a longer period of time, this is just a 5-minute as well. you know, that's going to give you the 442 area. But there's again, like 446, 444, like into here somewhere. Decent dip buy opportunities. Again, like I'm thinking short right now on the Nasdaq today, even though we've just had a couple bump ups. So let's wait to see. There goes Tesla right now, up about $1.50 right now and going a little higher now. I mean, it's just a robotics play. So we know what we're doing with that and full self-drive. And then Rivian yesterday actually hit the skids a little bit there. We were up to 18, 19, well, not up to 18, but that was the levels that we were looking at. We got there a little, and then we whooshed down there on their little AI event. So Rivian, I think if that comes back into the 50-period moving average, could be a buy. So this is in the EV space, maybe something there. And then I saw number 3 on that list, of course, was Chevrolet, which is a GM product. So General Motors, you know, that's getting some love for that, it looks like, up 0.19 today. So this is what I mean, like when we're going to talk about maybe the consumer is strapped and maybe they're not buying, like as Brendan sort of mentioned there, looking at rates. Sharif mentioned new lease rates or in financing for Tesla, probably something similar in all these legacy moves, right? Like GM, Ford, Toyota Motors. Like, look at GM stock here. Like, I'm glad to be owning this one right now. Nice upside play in General Motors. So, you know, sometimes we forget about the names that are really working the best and focus on the names with all the volume, but this just continues to go. November 24th, right? This name, so you're talking about 3 weeks ago, was $67, Neil. Now it's 81. Like, what a move right there for GM.
Remember, we did say they're better than Ford. Every time people, because Ford was coming up a lot.
Ford is still doing
weird. No, Ford's doing fine, but Ford was for some reason coming up a lot in the chat and in discussions. Maybe sometimes it was Randy was walking by, but
well, it's just Randy's hatred for it, but
well, true. But GM has been outperforming them for a very long time. Like, it's not a recent thing.
And they're both outperforming. They're both outperforming Rivian easily. I don't know if they're both out. I mean, we could see Tesla. Oh, I can't do it on this. Let's see Tesla year to date, and then we'll just go back over to the guys. TSLA, of course, and new Nasdaq stock right there. So we'll see Tesla on the year. I think it's probably up like 10% or so, maybe. Or am I way wrong? Here's January right here. Yeah, I think we were looking at this yesterday. It's actually, or not yesterday, but a while ago. This is January into this area here. So depending on what you're talking about, 400 up to 440. Yeah, so. Okay, bang, kind of guessed, but that 10% there coming through for Tesla this year. So it looks like, yeah, all the autos doing quite well. All right, someone else that's doing quite well is Joe, and he's got right now options. So let's go check out some options activity with our good friend Joe.
All right, guys, good morning. Happy Friday. Let's get right into it. Katina Man, you're asking for some Bitcoin activity. You were asking me for something as well yesterday, but it slightly slipped my mind. So if you remind me, we'll get that done. But let's get right into this, guys, and see what we got going on from yesterday's options activity. IBIT being at the top of the list here, guys, at that $55 strike price. Yes, slightly out of the money this contract is, sitting with 45,400 contracts still currently open and volume around 9,230, once again expiring next Friday, guys. Now, Microsoft putting in a half-decent session as well, too, breaking up in the latter half. Open interest sitting around 10,200 with volume around 27,000 at that 485 strike price. That is going to be expiring today. Yes, you guessed it, today is the 12th. Now, AMD as well, too, guys. $230 strike price, open interest sitting around 15,100 and volume around 10,800, and that is going to be expiring next Friday. Now, as for some of the activity here, guys, AVGO, Broadcom, a lot of individuals looking at this, extremely out of the money now. This is going to be that $420 strike price, but look at the bid and ask. $45 spread is absolutely insane. We have open interest sitting around 5,860 and volume around 11,500. Now, guys, leading into the earnings report, you guessed it, the options market is relatively smart, and they're going to price in the volatility at 156.3%. So you're going to be paying an extended premium on that front with your delta relatively cool, considering how far out of the money it is, and your gamma, not much exposure on that front either. But let's take a look at the actual contract here, guys. This is the 420 call that is going to be expiring today I mean, hey, last night it was worth $8. By the end of the day, we're going to keep an eye out on this one throughout the midday to see how much it's going to decrease. At this open, this thing is going to go from $8 to, I bet, roughly pennies on the dollar at the end of it. And it will expire worthless by the end of the day unless Broadcom has the ability to climb all the way back and north of $420. Guys, we will be back momentarily with some upgrades and downgrades.
Yeah, that's 420. I mean, you can't even make it up because that's pretty much where this thing turned as well on Broadcom. Hopefully not too many people got trapped up there because it was one of those weird ones where like the call, everything was actually cruising until the earnings call. Like it wasn't one of those, oh, we dropped on good numbers and then we're going to bounce because the CEO comes out and says something positive. But no, unfortunately, there's non-zero is the best way to put it. It's a non-zero is the best way I can say you have a chance of 420 today. It's not going to happen, but you should never say never. That's about it. And as to where it catches a bid, I didn't have much certainty with this one. Like I was looking back, it's like, well, there's support literally right here at like 379, 380, like this range. And it's like if it loses that, like what? Like the wick bottom from last week? I don't know if I want, like, if this one starts dropping, I don't know if I want to be catching the falling knife on Broadcom. Great company. Like, it's one of those, let it settle down and maybe, like, you like the 50-period moving average kind of thing. But as far as today goes, I think that's one I'll stay away from.
Yeah, I was just looking myself at IBIT. We talked about this yesterday. Whenever we get involved in it, we seem to do well. So I'm thinking, come on, chart change. Thinking that IBIT, getting a little bit of a bump there yesterday into the close, right? I mean, not a little bit of one, and a very, very nice one. The trend yesterday was pretty much all up once we made it. It started about 11 o'clock where we hit those bottoms twice down there at 51, 50, 70, and then started just going. So looking at where the market is right now, I think, we know it will follow the Nasdaq a little bit. So if this can come back in, that's the 200 period. You see yesterday there, we sort of bounced off of that with VWAP, but right now it's a little sketchy here with IBIT. So I would say like this 52 would be an interesting area, but not super convinced about that one. So I'll wait on it. MSTR and Ethereum, of course, two other names that you can definitely trade if you're looking at crypto. I mean, boom, there's MSTR yesterday. I mean, slept on this one all afternoon. That just kept on going high side as well. So I want to try to play names that have some momentum in it. And I think MSTR, ETHA, you can look at BMNR as well, obviously in the space. And these names all caught a little bit of a bid there midday. So we'll have to see if that can continue, right? BMNR, if you're looking for a lot of volume here, Bitmine will definitely put that through with a very, very good spread as well. But, that didn't move yesterday afternoon. So I don't know, maybe this is a short. Actually, looking at BMNR right here, maybe I almost never look at this, but that is...
You're free.
I have room. I don't know. Maybe. I have room on the sticky note here. I might add this BMNR right into here. This is a good little level. It's only from yesterday. But yeah, this 39 short, 39.50 maybe for BMNR. That could be something. And then I'm also debating putting on some cannabis plays on here as well. So this looks like it'll go higher for a little bit. And then we didn't even check out Netflix at all this morning. $94. So still hovering in and around this area. We'll see if Netflix can get going. And that's another good little long that I was thinking about down into here. Again, $93 or so, right? Only spent a little bit of time underneath there. I don't think we'll get low today on Netflix. It's up again against a weak market. Lots of trade ideas. It's 8:30. We should have Michael Knotts. It's a Friday. Hopefully he'll be able to come through today as well. But yeah, get your ideas going. I put it, you could tweet at me as well. I put it in there. You can go tell me what your trade ideas are today. That should be something fun to do. I'll take a look at that. But TQs, Nvidia, Tesla, and maybe BMNR being added to our board here today. So. Yeah.
It's got a super chat.
Did we get a super chat? Oh,
well, there it is. I just want to find it. Good morning to you, G Talk. Rocket Lab, you like a 57 strike on RKLB, up 50% expiry. Obviously, that'll be next week. Triple witching.
Rocket
looks
Lab,
good.
Rocket Lab.
Profit looks good. Tech looks better. What do you guys think?
Oh, we can look at the chart. RKLB.
I'm gonna pull it up here. I got the Friday chart syndrome going on right now. Oh, that's deep. Ring it. Okay, so obviously, I don't know how much further is it going to go here. Like a lot of what's going on for Rocket Lab is this SpaceX story, right? Like it's like the secondary bounce has really been because Elon said they're going to go public and has been dragging all these names up. Like, so I'm with you. Like, I prefer them and ASTS to playing in that Destiny thing, DXYZ, the Destiny 100, which is a quarter SpaceX. Yeah, but you come right into the sell zone, like maybe like a day away from 66. It's down today, but I mean, like there's no story or anything. It was down in the pre-market yesterday before breaking out. So this could be a pretty parabolic day. Maybe it's more of a sideways. On a Friday, it could end up a little sideways and struggle with 65. But I like Rocket Labs, that 65 resistance for sure. And I think, as I said, I like this as a better momentum play versus Destiny on this SpaceX story.
Still getting some comments, guys, from both Feds Paulson and Goolsby. Overall, nothing we haven't heard before regarding economic policy. So market not responding to that very much, but just be aware there are some Fed speakers still making some comments. A couple of things just coming through as well. Coinbase, Barclays has lowered their price target for coin today. Interesting, this one heading higher on that, it would look like. There was a whole note attached to that, but a slight price target decrease on Coinbase specifically. Michael Na's coming up. He wants to talk about crypto this morning as well. Just heard Oracle popped up there, I guess just above the pre-market range, right back down. This thing's still getting hammered after the move down yesterday. We'll talk about that ahead as well. There was one other one I wanted to mention here. I'll go back to my list, but Oracle down huge after that move yesterday. Really hasn't bounced back at all as of this morning.
No, and I don't think it's really going to catch much of a bit today after the Broadcom debacle, obviously, yesterday, with that stock really moving after the earnings report, but really dropping after CEO Hook Tan basically said, look, I'm not going to give full year guide. He guided for Q4. But the concern here, from what I'm reading by some analysts, is the custom silicon space, like the application-specific integrated circuits that we've been talking about, ASICs, is looking to grow, but they're worried that, companies circumvent going through Broadcom, going through Marvell, go at it alone, much like Apple did with their M processors. Obviously, that costs a bit more money, but in the long term, obviously, circumventing the middleman does save money. So we'll keep an eye out on that, Brendo, as the AI play continues to develop. I did want to add, though, because you brought up Coinbase, we saw yesterday Gemini get into the prediction market. It's becoming this sort of trend for brokerages to get into that. IB as well, Joseph and I's program has that as well, and they're integrating it in everything we kind of see. And Coinbase throwing their hat into the prediction markets ring, reports Bloomberg. Apparently, they're going to announce next week the launch of the prediction markets and the tokenized equities. Another sort of trend we're seeing right now. A person familiar with the matter said Robinhood, as we know, has already kind of gotten into that as well.
I was just going to mention the simple fact that not only Robinhood in there, as you said, but the way that this market has already just been saturated with options as far as where you want to go to place your actual bet is just crazy how quickly that happened. It's a great opportunity, obviously, but very, very fast.
I mean, Brendo, there's this part of my program, right, where it just shows me like the price, the volume, some just basic stuff on the stock. And then what they've done is they've thrown in the prediction markets right there, so it's right in your face. And all you need to click is yes or no, Brendo. Wow. So they're really kind of luring you in. It looks like it's a growing product and a high margin one at that.
Making it very, very easy for everyone. Mr. Nas has arrived. It's Friday morning. Let's get a look at what Michael Nas is doing this week, or has been doing this week. It's all about crypto talk this morning. Michael, good to see you. Happy Friday.
Good to see you.
The pullback, I guess, has stabilized somewhat. That has a few people, anyways, wondering about timing here for potentially dipping a toe back in the water.
Yeah, and this is very interesting, just timing for crypto as a whole, because as we know, it was really hated for a long time there. I think Michael Saylor went from one of the most loved guys in crypto to one of the most hated pretty quickly. And what I've been looking for is, as I've been building out crypto systems, this is kind of something I really want to get into in the new year, because I still think this is a very inefficient market when it comes to, systematic trading or quantitative trading. I've been looking to kind of look for indicators and look for things that can confirm that Yes, not always, of course, but it might be a good time to take a little bit of a shot. So what we're going to talk about today is the MACD, which I think a lot of people watching this know. But if you don't, it's essentially two moving averages and looking at the crossover of those two moving averages. However, as a nerd as I am, I finished reading this really interesting paper about a volatility normalized MACD. And very, very quickly, put, what we're looking at is that a MACD generally can't be compared across instruments or through time. And the reason for that is because it's just using moving averages. And, you know, when your stock doubles, the value of those moving averages is going to change. So in this way, what we're doing is we're normalizing the MACD based off volatility. So that gives us a little bit of a bonus where not only is it telling us trend, it's also good for overbought and oversold indicators. So perfect example here is just on Bitcoin. And what we're trying to do is we're looking for stocks that get under about the negative 50 to 100 area. That is what we're kind of classifying as oversold with this new indicator. And then when a slow moving average crosses above a fast moving average, it tells us that at least for that moment, the trend has shifted to the upside. So first we get oversold, and then we look for a little bit of a trend that shifts higher. So the next chart I have just kind of shows this a little bit more clear. And this is from the creator of the MACDV, which if anyone's looking for it, that's what it's called, the volatility normalized MACD. And we see this kind of flow happen often in markets where you have a downtrend. That downtrend gets a little bit overdone, but it gets very hard to kind of just pick and time a bottom. So waiting for these moving averages to cross back up, it means that we will necessarily and always miss the bottom. However, it means that we're at least waiting for some short-term momentum to return on our sides before dipping our toe back in. So with this, the next chart is actually an equity curve that I've been building. You can see certainly not perfect, right? Each of the dividers, the vertical dividers you see is a different year. So it doesn't make money all the time. It doesn't even make money in all years. But if you look closely at the equity curve, what it does a great job at is that when there is a change and a new trend, it does a great job at catching that. And when there's no new trend and you have this sideways movement in the market or it continues down, you're taking very small losses. That's why you see small kind of drifts down in the equity curve, and then every now and then it catches a new trend that's great, and then you have this kind of big surge higher. So that's what we're looking for. So there's some criteria around it. This is what, again, I'm building over at Stats Edge, but this is the premise, is that we're looking for stocks that are, cryptos that are really, really depressed and really sold off and oversold across a bunch of metrics, in this case, this MACDV. And then we're looking for short-term momentum to take over, where we're not trying to pick the bottom, we're not buying on the way down, we're just waiting for that momentum shift to take place. And I showed that we saw that in Bitcoin just recently. That was the first chart there. And then I have some ideas for things that could potentially be setting up right now. So this next chart is Litecoin. And I don't know when I've heard about Litecoin recently. And it kind of makes sense. If you look at the long-term chart, Litecoin hasn't done a whole lot. However, it's gotten to that oversold area on the chart or on this indicator. And over the last couple of days, we have had a cross up. Now, Litecoin, it's one of those, it's like a Bitcoin fork. And there was this whole fight about, so some crypto people really don't like Litecoin in general. However, ever since that really wide down candle you see, that was that big liquidation event that we saw in crypto, it really hasn't challenged that. It's been holding above that, and that's about $70 really well. So the exit rules on this are fairly simple on the equity curve that I just showed you. If we're interested, we're buying after this cross higher in the MACD, and then we hold it until we get a cross lower. And that's why if this thing stays in a range, you can see that the lines are very close together. You'll get that cross back down pretty quickly, and you should be out. Also, for a stop loss, I think just leaning on that prior low around $70 makes sense. But if we're right and we're going to get a trend higher, that's what we're looking for there. This next one is Mana or Decentraland. This one actually crossed, I believe, yesterday. So we actually do have some bullish momentum on our side here. Now that big downtick that's really kind of scrunching up the chart here, that was again that liquidation event where this thing went all the way down to 3 cents for like a microsecond before it bounced back up. However, If you remove that, you see that this is in a downtrend. So very short-term momentum's on our side, but this thing is still beaten up. This is the place where you could buy like a digital house next to Snoop Dogg and things like that. Been out of favor for a long time, maybe a little bit of a pickup here. This one hasn't yet crossed, but it kind of looks the most interesting to me, this last one, where this is a sheep with hat. So take that as you will. I heard a laugh in my ear there, and I'm I'm using these as a proxy for maybe the meme coin revolution is going to come back a little bit. This one, it was down huge. I don't know. Maybe we're going to see sheep with hat be back on top at some point.
Let's go back to the principle or the idea, I guess, Michael, of having a portfolio versus, or a system to trade in a portfolio versus just, taking a shot here, taking a shot there based on, what you see on Twitter every day. Is there a method at which we should be filtering out some of these names versus just looking for the best ones that are setting up under a rule set?
Yeah, and there's filtering built in already, and that's kind of where the next stage of building a system like this is I try to go through and explore a lot of the losers and see if they have any similar characteristics. However, where I find the most bang for my buck is taking a system like this that is kind of trend following in nature, at least in the very short term. You need an uptrend to already happen before this crossover occurs. That's why you don't see it in this lovely asset, sheep with hat. But you need that short-term momentum in your favor. So I take this and then I have a mean reverting strategy. And a couple months ago, I brought that particular system to you guys as well using RSI. And as soon as you marry these two ideas together, and you'll see it, you guys on the desk do it all the time. Sometimes you're buying breakouts, sometimes you're trying to pick bottoms, and combining those two strategies, I find really smooths out the equity curve because sometimes there's trends and sometimes there's not. And it's really hard to know when. So taking two strategies usually is better than one.
If anyone's maybe a little bit uncomfortable with trading something called sheep with a hat,
why would you be?
Is there results, or do the results change at all if we look at maybe the top 3 or 4 just based on market cap?
Yeah, and I've looked at that, and it's kind of the results you would expect. And I think it would be the results in the same as looking at the equity world, which is very interesting. The more I study the crypto world, it mirrors equities really, really closely. And essentially what we're looking to do is try to exploit volatility. So if you're doing something like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, maybe those 3, it still works the same way. Your win rate is roughly the same, but you don't get these insane explosive trends. Like, we're past the days where Bitcoin is going to turn here and triple, right? Sheep with hat could. So what you're doing is you're trading for volatility. You're trading return for volatility. And some people are fine with that. They want a lower volatility and a lower return. If you're trading meme coins, it's obviously going to be a much higher potential return, but then a much higher volatility as well.
Interesting. Yeah, great concept. Michael Noss, have a great weekend. We'll see you again next week.
And I'll talk to you Monday. Have a good one.
I mean, if it was dog with hat or cat with hat, I mean, I think I feel a lot better.
Way more confident.
I mean, there's only one sheep.
Yay!
I mean, it's supposed to be goats. If it was Brendan with hat,
Get it, Brendo.
I mean, then we would
the fact
go.
that that's not actually even a goat it gets me every time.
Look, I mean, we talk about it like, crypto trading, it's available, right? When we have that BTCC sponsor on ours and Coinbase, you could trade all of these names. So, I mean, I don't think there's any problem at all trading them. And I think Brendan asked a great question when he said, like, what if people are uncomfortable, trading those names? Can you look over here at some of the larger names? But I would also say, like, I know the exchanges that I'm involved with, they have a very good order book, and it's easy to see, where the size is and if there is enough liquidity so you can trade these names. And Michael just nailed it, I think, again, by telling us all that there is strong correlation sometimes with these setups in equity as they are with a lot of these coins as well. So I really appreciate when Michael comes on because he does the work and goes in here and finds random names that, like, obviously we've never heard of, and talks about them, you know. And it just, when you go through the list, they're all, when you go through the market cap, it's all wrapped this, USDTC, Tether, all this, Tron, things like that. And it's just like, you got to look through them all and then go through all the charts to be able to find out exactly which ones are moving in the way that you expect them to, and are they following any patterns. So, I mean, if you are interested in trading crypto or anything like that, I mean, we've seen volumes come down a little bit on the exchanges for crypto trading lately because of the movement down. It always gets a little excited when it starts to move to the backside here. So, you know, a benefit of more crypto trading and more opportunity would be Coinbase. And then someone here on my tweet here today mentioned that they were trading some Robinhood. So I want to call them out as well, because that was a good little call out by you. Where is it? That's Katina Manuel. I'd say Toby looking to fill, got filled at 124 there on Robinhood. So thanks, Toby, for that one. Wish you best of luck there. Yeah, but this looks like a decent bottom that was potentially made yesterday and for Robinhood. So I'm still looking at that 100. I mean, we were basically $1 away from being double digits again. And that's kind of where I was looking to buy this thing back into this area. But this is what I mean. You know, we came back in, we sort of stopped again at this 120 or so level. I think Robinhood can work from here to the long side. It's up 1.5% today. And again, on better crypto news, right? Like, I mean, the more this market tends to go higher, the more it excites traders and the more volatility that comes in. And these names make money on transaction fees. So, you know, really like Robinhood here. It's very expensive to trade crypto, by the way, from what I'm hearing. You guys tell me if you have Robinhood accounts and IBKR and all that. It's not cheap to trade crypto. It's like a lot of these places have the free equity trading because Citadel and because of the routing and all that kind of stuff. But in crypto, I don't think they've got that. It hasn't
gone to that part yet. Like, you're probably a longer ways away from the point where you get the kind of low-cost trading that we now enjoy. Everybody enjoys, for the most part, in equities. But low-cost stock trading for Adam James in YCBD. So take two super chat. I'm guessing, oh, you must have sent one before. That makes more sense because the reason these guys are in play, they have regained. Oh, yeah, that's CBD, right? Hot little saucy one. Yeah, CBD stock, but they've regained NYSE compliance.
Oh, as well. Is it is a cannabis name, right? YCBD.
Yeah, my understanding.
Yeah, so you're getting
it's double.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the cannabis names are moving. This might be moving more because they've regained compliance, and on top of that, you've got the cannabis news. And this might, I mean, outside chance. It's done 75 million. It's only $1, so there's a decent chance that it could be, if not one of the top volume names in the market today. I mean, I haven't double-checked to see if there's some other crazy penny stock that's going to do more, but it should be up there. What's our float on YCB? 9 million float. Not even that big. An 8% short float there. So, yeah, it's already turned this float over like 8 times. This should be on the radar if you're a small-cap trader holding VWAP. And, of course, everything in cannabis and cannabis-related, you're going to want to watch out. If you see some heavy drops in some of these other names, just pay attention to that for sure.
Does the 12 days of Christmas start on the 12th, or it's 12 days like the 13th, and then you have 12 days as the 25th? So I was wondering,
the 25th of the 12th day?
No, well, if it starts today, then it would be the 24th. It would be the 12th day, right? Because, anyways, I was just wondering, 12 days of Christmas. I looked down, and I was like, it's December 12th, so it's 12/12. Yeah. I'm just writing the sticky note, and I put the date in there, and I was like 12/12, and that made me think about the 12 days of Christmas because our daughter, both our kids get advent calendars. My daughter's one is a Sephora one. My son's one is a Dubai chocolate. And then my wife got some sort of a jewelry 12 days of Christmas for my daughter. So I don't know if she's starting it today or tomorrow. I should find it.
Hers is like these, it's like these duck ornaments.
Yeah, the duck things are cool.
But then my wife got me one. She's never gotten me an advent calendar, ever.
Oh, okay.
And then she got me a Star Wars advent calendar. Like, everyone is like little like figurines. It's like there is a bit of a theme to it, but
yeah, that's fun.
So I'm literally like little mini building Lego every single.
I was gonna say it's probably Lego. I was gonna say I really like the Lego
Star
ones.
Wars Lego advent calendar.
Yep.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I saw Bad Santa.
How did I not discover that earlier? Those are always cool.
Yeah, Bad Santa. Not one that we sit around the fireplace and watch, but I like Bad Santa.
Cool. That movie's
Bad Santa too. A little vulgar, of course, but yeah, we'll have to be watching. We put on National Lampoons, and my kids now it's just like a thing to have in the background. My wife really likes, Home Alone is great. My wife likes Elf. I don't know.
Elf is hilarious.
I like Elf. I've seen them all so much.
Die Hard's my.
You know what? I think we're gonna. That's what I'm gonna do. Forget it. I think it's Die Hard time.
It is Die Hard, man.
You know, my kids don't know that movie enough. And my kid plays Call of Duty and all that, so he would appreciate going through the tower there and just sniping people. Shout out to Bruce Willis, man. It's too bad that he had the health issues, but what a great actor he was. Sixth Sense as well. Lots of stuff for that. But all right, guys, over on the desk. So we've got the kids. Sure. These guys without. So is there a Christmas movie that you guys go to? Maybe you sit down, with someone and watch, have a nice glass of wine or something like that. Mulled wine. You like mulled wine?
I love mulled wine. Well, you know what I want to know?
What's that?
I want to know what Joe's favorite Christmas movie. Because are
we going to Joe now?
For a dude who doesn't eat pie, for a dude who doesn't even eat cookies, like, do you even, I don't know, do you eat treats during Christmas? Because
wow, Joe is just getting Joe catches a lot of shrapnel.
It's a legitimate question. I don't know.
I didn't have my earpiece in.
Never had an apple pie or pumpkin pie or any of that stuff. So
I got to get this guy a peach pie. He's requested a peach pie. He's gonna have a piece of peach pie.
The guy's a protein shake at Christmas dinner.
You did request it, Joe. Okay, just leave it at that. All right. You're gonna have a peach pie. We're gonna have that, and then we're gonna find out. So we're gonna find out all three. We'll find Sharif, Brendan's, and Joe's favorite Christmas movies. We're starting with Joe right about now.
Jack Frost. They may not be familiar with it, but I believe that is Michael Keaton, guys. Yes, Michael Keaton. Yes, and guess why, Katina, man? There is some hockey action in it, so that is why we love what we got going on with Jack Frost. Yes, that is a face slapper. I still don't understand how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but anyways, we'll figure that out later. What's more important, guys, is what we have on the upgrades and downgrades. And for my friend Adam James, let's get saucy and let's get right into it here, guys. AVGO, American Airlines, Lululemon, and Costco all on the list today, guys. American Airlines going from a neutral to a buy with that price target raised to $20 by UBS Group. And then we have Broadcom as well, too, guys. AVGO, overweight, negative in the pre-market session. Key Corp giving that one the nod there, guys. And then Lululemon up a substantial, almost 10% here when this was created. Jefferies giving that a solid underperform to a hold, so you get that upgrade there. And then Costco going to an outperform as well, too, guys. So let's take a look at some of the downgrades at the top of the list. We have Nike going from a positive to a mix, so a downgrade by Citigroup there, slightly positive here in the pre-market session. And then we have Cosmos Energy as well, too, guys, getting downgraded price target from $2.50 to $2 there by Mizuho. KOS is going to be that ticker. And then Southern Company, Key Corp, guys, lowering that price target from $87 to $76, and then we have Xcel Energy by Key Corp as well, too, guys. Price target going from $85 to $84.
All right, Christmas movie, let's go.
All right, so it's the Home Alone series and then the Santa Claus. Tim Allen's the Santa Claus. I like that one.
Okay, I was gonna say that that old school, I think it's just called Rudolph, or but the one that they look like they're clay. Like animated, the old. It used to be on CBC here in Canada, every single year. I love that.
Good call.
This is for advent calendars. This is a horrible picture, but I wanted to throw this out for advent calendars. Sharif will like this.
I love this.
And this segment not brought to you by Grenade, but Grenade is the company that makes this. But this is a protein bar advent calendar. So every single day you punch the hole and you get a different variety of their protein bars. So I thought you might like that.
I love the number 25, an affinity for that number. But Brendo, I don't think that would last 25 minutes with me, let alone 25 days. I'd inhale that pretty quick. That'd be an after workout.
It was just $96 for a protein bar.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, $25, they're like $4 each. I don't know, $3 each or something like that. It's crazy. Very, very expensive. I don't even know what we were going to do, but we can talk a little bit about the market here, I guess, and we'll just get going.
Yeah, yeah, let's have a look at the market over here, Brendo. We closed a little bit higher yesterday, guys. We're really working into that 60. In fact, we closed above 6,900 for the first time in a while since back in late October. So 69.07, 69.06, that's where we closed out yesterday with the overnight high being 69.15. So look, here's the deal. We're above 6,900 right now by 5 points. So if we hold 6,900 on the open, we'll use that as our first level of support. If we fail 6,900, we're looking to that overnight low. We're going to say 68.75 as support level 2. If we start getting going here, we're looking firstly at 69.25. That's where we rejected yesterday right after the close. 69.25, that's going to be resistance level 1. If we really get going, we're looking to that 50-point level, Brendo, 69.50 as resistance level 2.
One of those Fridays setting up to be potentially maybe one that we get back to the upside. We'll see how things play out. If you haven't done so, top link below in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Absolutely free, this version. You can grab the membership as well. The YouTube membership will get you Sharif's morning note. Very, very, very in-depth detail on each of these stories and more in that. Let's talk about AVGO. Initial move was to the upside on the numbers yesterday, and then we get this reversal all the way back down and then some when they started talking about their quarter.
Exactly that, Brendo. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it was a big reversal there. The algos loved the numbers, rocketed up, then Huck Tan got on the call, and it was exactly the opposite. So, guys, it was a clean beat on both earnings and revenue. So beat on the top and bottom line, with adjusted EPS coming in at $1.95, ahead of the $1.86 expected by analysts, on revenue of $18.02 billion, well ahead of the $17.49 expected. Now, this is the only part they're going to guide here. The Q1 guide, fiscal Q1 guide, they're implying about $19.1 billion in revenue. That would be $1 billion more than they took in this quarter, which implies a 28% year-over-year growth rate. CEO Huck Tan said AI chip sales, Brendo, are expected to double year-over-year to $8.2 billion, driven by both, of course, custom AI accelerators, which are custom silicon, as we've been talking about, but networking as well. Another key thing that Nvidia has been really focusing on, showing you the growing rivalry between the two companies. AI revenue as well surged 74% year-over-year on the quarter, and they added a fifth customer to their custom AI chips. They didn't reveal who it was, but now we know it's Anthropic, and they're behind the $10 billion order for Google's TPUs, another form of custom silicon, Brendo.
So overall, we are lower. I mean, we're giving back, if you zoom out a little bit here, basically the week going into today. We're holding, though, guys. 380 tested a couple times already here this morning.
Yeah, I think you're kind of, we were saying before, you're kind of on the precipice with that 379 to 380 area. Like, if that can hold, maybe we try to fill in this gap. I feel like you made a bit of a topping here, and I'd be a little bit surprised if we got all the way back. Certainly not to the top. I think even getting to 400 would be a pretty strong one today. Like, it would be, if you're filling in this gap, like 395, I think you could run into a little bit of trouble. And for Broadcom's part, like, I think the CEO tried to assuage some of the concerns with the way the backlog was stated and not giving the full year guidance. Fair enough, but the market decided we're not really cool with, they weren't really happy with that. And I think a lot of it comes to the price to perfection. And this has been following a very, I'd say, orderly path to the upside. So give it a couple of days. I think the 50 period is going to be your friend in here. But if we do lose that bid today, I already know where I wanted to go. In the afternoon yesterday, I was sort of talking about one name in the chip space that didn't do this. Like, this is Broadcom, like everything else, V-shaped recovery. Q's, V-shaped recovery. Nvidia, V-shaped recovery. AMD, V-shaped recovery. Broadcom, V-shaped recovery. Just keep going down the line and you'll see V-shaped recovery after V-shaped recovery, with the exception of at least one name I was looking at. I don't know, maybe others. But Intel didn't. And it was just distinctly different. So in the chip space, this is the one that I want to look short today. Into afternoon resistance, look at how it held 39.5 very, very cleanly all afternoon. From about noon. So that's the chip name that I want to fade, just feeling like it stays in its doldrums more so. So even if Broadcom bounces, there's still a place I want to look for short.
You were just saying, like, raised guidance, lots of demand there, but it was just one of the things here. It says, failure to hold the support here of 400. This is a note in Sharif's spot there might be a problem. And that is exactly what happened. We didn't hold the 400 right there. And now you're just getting to the downside. We saw, Meta come out with a good quarter, worried about the spend, and here comes Broadcom one more time here. Chip sales, CEO Hawk10 says chip sales expected to double year over year, to 8.2 billion. So, AI accelerations, talking about the silicon, everything. It seems like it's good. They also named Anthropic as their $10 billion sort of hidden unicorn over there. So we're going to wait to find out, how nasty this is going to get today. I feel like down 5%. I don't know if it's enough to dip by anything. We've seen Nvidia hit the skid about 10% from off of their earnings call. So I could see that happening again. We saw Palantir go to the upside, then flush a little bit and make its way all the way back. So to what Neil was talking about some of these recoveries, I think that will eventually happen here for Broadcom. I think this is truly a 3-day hold. We did the same thing. We're going to talk about Lulu next. I did the same thing with Lululemon. Let it understand that you like the name, let it settle down for a couple days, and then hit it again. So let's just see where this settles. Honestly, it's not good to come down into 350, but it wouldn't also be horrible. Come back into this 360, 350 area, have a look, and then bounce. So whether or not it happens today, I don't think it's really set up for that unless you are really looking for the short, and that would just be a break of 380 again, like we held it here. So if you break the pre-market low, then I think it's a go. That would be my advice, man. Break the pre-market low, then it's a go. But look at Oracle, right? Oracle had yesterday's same kind of a play where it got hit really bad early. So it was hit 10% down, right? And then this is what the pre-market looked like. Maybe if I can just zoom in a little bit here into that. So the pre-market, we started heading a little lower. Then once the market opened up, you could have sort of, I'm not sure exactly what moment. So this is 29, this is 30 right here. So it started to go down, then the faded, good volume, then eventually got some sort of a wick bottom. This is only on 1 minute chart. And then we took off from there and never saw those bottoms again. So I think that could be the case for Broadcom here. Obviously, Oracle's a little bit of a different beast. It's been hit, it's down 40% from its highs. Broadcom here just ticking down slightly from their highs. But I like the stock, like the space. Don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just, profit taking a little bit. And boom, there it goes. And here it comes back in. So yeah, not the greatest call, I guess. They could have maybe impressed a little bit more on that. But yeah, 380 short there on Broadcom. You guys at the desk buying the dip in Broadcom at all, or what do you think?
Pass.
You and I were talking about this. I'm going to wait to settle. So I think I got too aggressive with Meta, and I had to average in at the lower end. So I had to take on a little bit more than I wanted to. So I'm going to wait till this bottoms and then starts making that higher lows, and then I'm going to get in. But it's a company that I like, Brendo. I feel that they could, at least for, in certain senses, disrupt a little bit NVIDIA's business model.
Yeah, definitely a show me first kind of a thing, though. Lululemon here, essentially right back to the top from after the close last night. I was just reading through some of the numbers. I mean, this all came down to the CEO being shown the door. CEO is going to depart in January. I guess the market likes that. The numbers themselves were fine, but overall the CEO seems to be the story here.
It was, Brendo. I mean, we were selling off for over a year now, so something had to happen there because it wasn't going in the right direction. Let's talk about their earnings report. First, we'll get to the CEO, though. CEO Calvin McDonald. He's going to step down, as Brendo mentioned, on the 31st. He will remain as a senior advisor with the company until the 31st of March of next year. It's going to be the CFO, Megan Frank, and then the Chief Commercial Officer, Andre Mastrini. I hope I'm not butchering that. They're going to serve as interim co-CEOs. And the board emphasized here when talking about a replacement that they're certainly looking for, somebody who's open to a strategic change. They're not looking for business as usual here from the new CEO. Now, with respect to their earnings, $2.59 a share for EPS, beating the $2.25 on revenue of $2.57 billion, beating the $2.48. Despite the beat, though, net income did decline year over year, reflecting that margin pressure as well as higher costs. With respect to the guide, Brendo, that did come in a little bit below Wall Street expectations. Q4 revenue outlook 3.5 to 3.59. The street wanted 3.6 Q4 EPS outlook, $4.66 to 76 cents. The street was looking for much higher, $5.03. And their American revenue continues to decline 3%. Compare that to international revenue, which surged 33%. So a bit of a divergence there between international and North American sales.
I'm sure there's a lot mixed into it. The one thing I found a bit of a question mark was they talked about the margin declining, but they didn't really point to one specific thing as to what the issue was there. But I mean, that's not nothing. Declined from 17% to 20.5% from a year ago. So decent sized move. That being said, though, market likes this guys a lot today.
Yeah, I mean, show me a single name in this earnings cycle that was double digits up a day after their guidance missed on both ends, right? Both revenue and EPS guidance was a miss. And as you said, margin contraction, and you're still up 10%. So a lot of that's going to do with, okay, well, it's been beaten up a lot and it's had some support, and then some of it's going to do with the CEO, being replaced and moving on and looking for a change of direction. Either way, just look at this. So last earnings, let me zoom in, a little easier to see. If you look at that last earnings top, about 208.5. Any closes over that in the 15, this is, now you're breaking out on the daily chart. I like it off the monthly chart, which is a much higher time frame that I think might take a while to play out. Like, this is the kind of thing to make this bounce in the monthly. We can talk about mid next year before you're hitting some of the better targets on that. But at the end of the day, just today, I think you're looking at that 208.5. Now, there's a couple of problems with Lululemon. It's done about 300,000 shares, so it's not going to be a high-volume name. It never really is, and it'll be a more thinly traded. So I think you want to wait until the open. But if I see a 15-minute candle closing above 208.5, it doesn't necessarily matter this high. But if we're finding buyers above that level on the daily, this is actually a breakout trade here on Lulu. As I said, I'm sure you could probably find other stocks that have had those kind of weaknesses and they're reporting on double digits, but probably not in something as big as Lululemon.
Yeah, look, I was just looking here at the chart, and we've been a supporter of Lululemon for a minute, and this is actually Lululemon, what I'm wearing right here. But this 231 area, I'm thinking that that's going to be potentially the top. I'm just waiting to see what happens today. I am going to sell some of it. I do have a decent-sized position in this stock, and we've been talking about it. I bought it twice. Similarly to Sharif there, it went down a little too low, and we were able to average into it down there, into that 160 area. So, yeah, our average price is about that I think it's a little bit in the 170s or so, and so that's a good little bump up there. What's making me nervous is the guide, right? They guided lower. And I'm just reading, and make sure that you do join us every single day. We talk about what it means to join us, and that means you're going to get this access to Sharif's morning note, which is right here, and it's absolutely awesome. And here's the whole page about Lululemon, and this is what I'm looking at. Guidance still a headwind, right? So below Wall Street there, and their EPS look is not good moving forward. So they guide lower on revenue, guide lower on EPS. That cannot be good. So you're getting a bump up with the new find of the CEO. Obviously, as Brendan said there, the margin's getting lower. That's not a great sign, and that just shows you that there are a lot of their items going to be on discount, and that's good for now. The holiday season will probably be pretty good. I have a decent amount. I don't have a decent amount of their clothing, but I do like it, and it's been good. So I'm trying to think about the retail space right now. I'm not in AEO or any other names like that. Right now, 5,000 of you, so let's go. We got a nice amount of likes right now. We are live every single day at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., that's true. At 8 a.m., so make sure you join us every day at 8 a.m. And if you hit this join button right here for just $5 a month, so, a coffee and a hash brown or a cup at Starbucks or whatever you want, you get that note, and that note is absolutely jammed. I think it's 13 pages today or something. You get that morning note every single day. So we obviously have the free watch list. This is something different, much better, I don't know about better, but much more in detail. Plus you get all these little fun emojis. I never see anybody use these buy and sell ones. But that's fun. Just help support the show if you'd like to. That would be great. So there we go. We just got 100 more likes. Hit the like button. And if anybody is watching, we often do get some gifted memberships as well in here. So if you do go be part of the subscribe, get into the chat. Sometimes they get dropped in there. And there it is right there. There's another one. So we want to say a big thank you to Leanne right here for the membership. And go check that note out and let us know. There's no better note out there, let alone virtually for free. A Christmas Story, best movie of all time. Best Christmas Story. I don't hate on that one. A great movie that's one of my favorites. I know it's one of my wife's favorites as well. Is the Jim Carrey The Grinch? The Grinch is great. With Jim Carrey. So we were actually watching
mentioned another one I love, which you can make it. It's a trading movie. Trading Places can be a trading movie. It can be a Christmas movie, but I've always felt it was more of a New Year's movie. New Year's because of just the ending scene in Trading Places. But if you've never seen it, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, well, more importantly, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Lee Curtis, that's who it is. I'm like, who's the other person in there? Hilarious movie. I love the offbeat. It's not really about Christmas, but it occurs during Christmas. Like that's why I like Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly. Someone asked about Die Hard. It's like it's during Christmas.
It's just that you have to. Whatever. But thank you guys for mentioning them. And you know what? We just had someone in the chat say, what is the story with the weed stocks? Why are they moving? Well, you're just in time because we're all going to find out right now.
Yeah, a lot to consider here. If you want to look at individual names, they're up actually more than this thing is right now. This is MSOS, but this all comes back to reports. Again, this is just reports from the White House that President Trump is preparing to switch this to a class 3, which is essentially a pharmaceutical variation, which would be similar to the way it is here in Canada.
It shows that it has some medical uses, Brendo, unlike some others. So yeah, as Brendo mentioned, really, there's no guarantee yet, and no final decision has been made, but here's the report. That President Trump may push to reclassify marijuana and move it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Cannabis, of course, recognizes medical use as well as a lower dependency risk. That's the effect of Schedule 1 from Schedule 3. White House has emphasized, though, no final decision has been made, but the schedule shift would allow regulation that could materially reduce legal and financial barriers. We'll talk about those in a second. Yes, the reclassification could ease, firstly, banking restrictions, reduce the tax burdens on some of these companies, and certainly improve access to institutional capital. It aligns with prior efforts made under the previous Biden administration back in March of 2024 when the Department of Justice did this proposal, but it lingered as the DEA really dragged their feet. Any reclassification would require coordination, though, across multiple agencies and could face legal or political challenges, Brendo. So even though the EO comes in, it's not a done deal as of yet.
So the one thing to consider here, guys, I guess from the trade standpoint, is most of these individual stocks are so low priced at this point. Really, if you're looking for anything that's going to actually, give you a bit of a move today, then maybe MSOS is where to be.
Well, in the percentage basis, they all move. You got to pick your poison, right? Like MSOS. The thing about MSOS, though, that you should consider is it's way more prone to halt. I would find, like I found like this stock this ETF will halt a lot easier than some of the individual names. Tilray, after their split's going to be a little bit thinner to trade, even though it's a higher price. All of these, well, the ones I'm looking at, they're all under VWAP right now, which is a little bit disappointing. But it's actually specific to a bunch of them. But you're above the 200 here, you're above the 50. But what I like about CGC in particular, first of all, I don't really like CGC. What I like about the chart of CGC is probably the better way to put it here, is every single time this has tried to break the 200 period, it's successfully taken the 50, but the 200, that's been the rejection point. And a very clear rejection, like try to close above, the next day under. But it's usually closed above the first day. And with that, you've got 120, it's about 128, but let's call it 125, like 1.25. So if you get down to there, I think that can be a support level for today on CGC. But then the real test for longer term on this has been, and for all of these, it's not what happens the day ever when we get good news in the cannabis space. It's can it actually sustain it for more than a day? And the answer's generally not been yes. Maybe you get like a 3 or 4 days or a week out of it because limited profitability, there's just not a tremendous amount of upside for these businesses. So I think you ride it for a few days here and kind of leave it at that, in my opinion.
I wrote down here on the sticky note, MSOS long. I mean, that's not a weed plant. Good talk about classification there, looking long, looking at VWAP for guidance. So yeah, just trying to think about what we're going to do. And, it's coming back in right now. And it's just not a profitable business. Like, no matter what they classify this thing as, there's a lot of competition there. I like the multi-state operators, that there could be something there as well, like the ones that are selling it instead of the ones that are making it. You could look at VFF on that Village Farms. This could be a mover today as well. That's up 13%. But yeah, I'm gonna say, to wrap it all up, MSOS, there also is MSOX. That's not gonna be, so that's a 2 times, I believe. Yes, it is. Just not as much volume and not as liquid, but that's up 65%. So this could be a name that gets going a little bit more than the others just because of the percentage. But I would say, just wait for this. Like, I'd like for it to take the top there, get through $5.20, and then we can start to go long. But I don't want to say it's a short, but it's not. Like, that news comes out, it's kind of hovering around here. When you're looking at the daily chart, you're up here right now, and we've just fallen like very aggressively back into the 200 period. So I would say the better thing to do on this one is probably play the roller coaster, and hope that you catch it on the way up, not on the way down. So I was gonna say, like, you want to wait for it to sort of try to bottom out and then try to catch that move, because buying it right now, you buy that 520 break, is it going to break through 580? And if it does, that's great. That's 50 cents, which is perfect. That's another 10%, right? But if you miss it and you're wrong and it goes the other way, like, so you buy it and you're wrong, I mean, that 50 cents gets evaporated real quick. I mean, it's a pretty huge gap back into the upside there. So I was going to just wait to see if there's any action around VWAP, and hopefully we start trading a little above it, and then we can use that as some support. So I favor the long, but I do understand that it's pretty risky up here, especially when you zoom out and look at that daily chart. So it's a little nerve-wracking here to be caught long, I would say. And where's your out going to be? Are you just going to use $5 as your out? We've already broken through that. So I would say, if you're holding a long, maybe back into this level, which is 4. So you kind of got to hold that for $1 back in, which is just a lot of risk. So I would say, yeah, it's a good one. It's good to see that. We do have Weed Batman things. We do have fun little weed smoking animations like that.
It's the eyes.
So yeah, so we can have a lot of fun doing this. But at the end of the day, this is not a very profitable business. So let's just wait to see where it goes from here. I think you want to wait for the medical, sort of advancements. Yeah, there we go.
Adam James.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Best Christmas movie for sure. I threw one in the chat that I actually think is low key. It's low key. It's Friday After Next with. If you've never seen.
Is that the third one or?
It's the third one, but that's the one with Terry Crews and Cat Williams. So Cat Williams plays Money Mike.
Friday After Next. And these movies are so old now.
You know who my favorite character from that movie? It's actually not. Cat Williams is brilliant in it, but I forget the actor's name, which is really gonna bug me. I should remember him, but it's the dude that plays Pinky, who owns the music store that Day works at. That dude kills it, and he's not even in. He does like 2 scenes, and he crushes both of them. Oh, 3 scenes. And it's like. He's gangster limo driver. I have to watch next Friday. No, he has this gangster limo driver. It's the first time you see this dude. He's coming out the limousine, holding his cognac in his hand. He's like, "Hey man,
the driver.
You gotta take it easy on them corners. Almost spilt this yak on my $200 suit." And it's like this. Okay, immediately I'm.
Yeah, man. If trading doesn't work out for you, you should get into acting, man.
Hell no. Someone remind me of what that actor's name was. It's Clifton Powell. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's.
Oh, Jerome's brother. Okay, we should have known that.
I love that movie.
Jerome Powell.
We don't love Rivian today, though.
No.
Do you like Rivian today? I don't.
I don't really ever like the stock, but I mean, I do own the stock, so let's see what the action is on Rivian. I have Tesla written down today.
Trying to hold, but I think they did surprise a few people yesterday, to say the least, surprise a few analysts yesterday with the amount of spending that they are talking about with this AI and autonomous presentation that we got yesterday afternoon. It was definitely a sell the news kind of event. That being said, it didn't actually move that much. I mean, 50-cent move, down to a prior support level. Right. We're bouncing off of that again today. The concept is good. Whether or not they can actually execute on it, that's a huge question mark.
Mixed reports, as you and I were talking about off camera. They've chosen to go the Lidar route, and you know how some people feel about that, especially the Tesla bulls. Let's talk about this. They unveiled their first custom self-driving chip called the Rivian autonomous processor. It was a launch at their inaugural Autonomy and AI Day to kind of better, the move here is to kind of make their own chip to better control cost, performance, and autonomy development timelines. So here's what they're doing. So this Rivian autonomous processor is designed to handle high data throughput from the cameras, the LiDAR sensors, and it's going to support the long-term goal of having that level 4 autonomy. Nobody's reached that quite yet. The chip works alongside their new foundational AI system called the Large Driving Model, and the management expects full sensors and compute stack to be live by late next year. So they're announcing it now, but likely about a 12-month runway. They also introduced Autonomy Plus, very similar to FSD. It's a paid driver assistance package. Brendo, it's going to be $2,500 or $50 a month, and it includes a universal hands-free feature covering more than 3.5 million miles of roads in the US and Canada, and the pricing is significantly below, as we know, Tesla's FSD, which costs about $8,000 up front, or if you want to go the monthly route, it's about $100 US, and they confirmed, as I mentioned, they're using LiDAR sensors, and they're going to include those in the next-gen R2 models, hopefully next year.
There was significant volume either direction yesterday, depending on where you look at it, guys, the initial reaction to the downside. But I think a lot of people did step in later in the afternoon to take advantage of the dip.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add this to the list because I feel like it wasn't doing any volume pre-markets. It's like, oh, well, maybe there's not going to be any action to it on Rivian after that event. But you know what? Look at the clean support at 17, like obvious level. And then it turns on a dime at that same price. We're close enough. Like any topping tail candle off 17, I want to fade this thing. Even if it just kind of slowly cruises up or mean reverts or just a short underneath that $17 level, just because it's a significant level there on Rivian. So to say it's weak when it's gapping up is kind of hard to do. But you saw what happened on the sell the news of the event. Right, and they sold it at $17, and that was a prior support level. So if we get there, then I think it's worth making a play.
You know what? I mean, we talk about Tesla moving on autonomy, Tesla moving on self-drive. Rivian should do the same thing. I actually like Rivian here with those notes. I didn't realize that they were actually releasing their version of FSD. I think that's really something that's going to move the needle, to be honest with you. I like that. I like the fact that it's cheaper, half price than that of Tesla. I don't know if that really matters ultimately at the end of the day. I'm not sure the pricing matters. It's just about getting it right. Adding these LiDAR sensors. I think it's, I like Rivian here. So I'm actually changing, like I'm long this name, and I think I'm going to stay long. I was thinking about getting out when we come up to this $20 mark again. You know, but one good quarter, like if their margins improve somehow or they get just a little bit more demand. We know it's a weak EV market right now, so that's also a problem. We saw Tesla's numbers down 25% or whatever month over month or year over year on the car sales there. And Rivian's still very expensive, and I know, Marissa, if you're watching, I know you want one, yada, yada. But I think that the newer model, I know Brendan was talking about the R2 and stuff like that, and that's going to be something to look at. Maybe we dip our toe into that. But yeah, interesting move yesterday. We had it on our sticky note yesterday to wait for this to happen, and we actually said 17 short or 1850 long. The 1850 long doesn't come into play, but the 17 short sure as hell did, and that was a monster play yesterday. We should have had it. We were out with Jeff yesterday, but that was a good move there coming back in. So I would say play off this low. I think if we can get into $16, I should have probably put this one on the watch today as well. So I think I'm going to add it now as well. $16. I know Neil was saying the short there, but I'm going to go long in and around this area, 1580, 1590 or so on Rivian to see if we can hold yesterday's low. I actually like the story there today, and it's up. I'm going to add Rivian to my little note and say Rivian long around that $16 mark. I like the story, and I like the stock, and I love the cars. I think they're pretty beautiful. So let's just wait to see what happens with Rivian today. But if we do fall back into that $16 area, I'm going to go long Rivian.
On to Disney here again. We're right back to essentially the spike highs from yesterday, holding up nicely. There's barely a dip here on this news yesterday. If you missed it or away throughout the session yesterday, this thing just went straight higher after they announced $1 billion equity investment going into OpenAI. They're also going to get with that, or give with that, the rights for Sora, the video generator for OpenAI, to use Disney characters to create I guess, whatever you want with Mickey Mouse going forward and friends. The opportunity here is endless. I was having a conversation just from our standpoint, even trying to appeal to a younger audience with content that we're creating with some of that type of themed content. But Disney looks great here after that yesterday.
It does, and it's in a multi-day run too, Brendo, so good look on the chart. You're going to be able to use characters from Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel franchises, all in Sora AI. And I guess the benefit part here for OpenAI is that it's to the exclusion of others, most notably their latest rival, Google, of course, with Gemini 3. And here's what Disney's accusing Google of. They actually sent them a cease and desist letter, and they're accusing them of massive scale copyright infringement using AI to exploit and distribute its content. Here's what they said to them. This is part of the letter. Google is infringing Disney's copyrights on a massive scale by copying a large corpus of Disney's copyrighted works without authorization to train and develop generative artificial intelligence models and services by using AI models and services to commercially exploit and distribute copies. But as Joseph and I were discussing on the midday show, Brendo, if I go on a website right now and that information is free to everybody, I digest that, I comprehend that information, and then I go and use that information to make money in a different way. I wouldn't be able to be sued by that company. It's free information, it's online for everybody. However, it seems to be a little bit different for these AI models. They're learning off free information, but are they free to kind of redistribute it or digest it in a different way to others? This is kind of the tug of war between the left side and the right side here.
And you have to say then at that point, are they actually monetizing specifically off that information? And I don't know if you can actually answer that yet.
It's hard,
from a direct standpoint, you're not actually going to ChatGPT or whatever to pull up a specific, Bloomberg article, to talk about their content specifically. You're just looking in general. So, no, it's a valid point. I think they still have to come to some sort of conclusion when it comes to that. But as we're speaking here so highly of Disney, we're getting a bit of a downtick, but still holding up nicely, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Disney, I talked about, I think there's going to be like one large language model to rule them all at one point, and it's nice to see that Disney takes that investment now into OpenAI. They also put that $1 billion in there yesterday, as well as making that deal with all their IP. So I think that that's a great sign for Sora. I think it's a great sign for OpenAI. I think it's a great sign for Disney as well, because now they know where their products are, right? I mean, it's if you're going to have to use something official, it's going to have to be Disney related. We talked about Star Wars and fun things like that coming through. Mr. Roberts with the reloaded coffee right there. Randy not in the building today, so thanks, Neil, for that. But there's the move back up on Disney. I think part of this also is the excitement surrounding the Netflix bid with Warner Brothers and Paramount, and sort of how, we talk now and we look at how important exactly content is. I'm not like, I wouldn't buy Disney because of, the deal with OpenAI. I actually think OpenAI, and we've already talked about this, is that house of cards, and I'm going to be interested to see when that comes through. So I don't know if they should have put $1 billion into it. I know that's not a huge amount of money, but look what Netflix is doing, man. We've bought this name as well over the last couple of days, and just once, just at $96, and it's starting to get back up there. So I think as better talk about content, and as this deal settles down, we get to see a true value for Warner Brothers, which hopefully gives us a better idea of maybe how to value what Disney owns. So, they bought Fox a couple years ago. They put that in. Now you can watch Simpsons and some other things. I don't know what else, but other things that are on Disney right now. I think Home Alone might be a Fox product or something as well. But
it's definitely on.
Yeah, I always see that on Disney there. So I don't know. I like it. I just think that Disney, I'd rather be in Netflix on that depreciated value rather than where Disney is right now. So I'm a buyer of Netflix, and I actually already have. So I don't know. I like Disney, but it's not exciting enough for me. I'd want to rate for that $104, $105 mark again.
I'd wait on Disney. The irony of them suing over content issues. Disney's Visions, which is a Star Wars thing, they literally ripped off a YouTube fan film shot for shot in an action sequence. They just took the guy's YouTube fan film and transposed it into like a fight scene. Hood is going to go up today, says Joseph. I hope it does for you. I'm hoping silver goes up with only about 15 seconds to go. I'm just going to throw this one in here. Yesterday, it was not as easy as VWAP. It was wait for it to make its bottom and then break it out. So I'm going to be patient with this because the open has been pretty, I guess what's the word I want to look for? Choppy for silver. So patience is going to play there. We didn't really get too much about the Nvidia story, but the Nvidia looking to increase H20 supply, and it's actually fading back on that news. So the 180 level is the key level to watch early on for them. And instantly, oh, well, that didn't waste any time, Intel. Well, you can't short the pop if there isn't a pop. No. And once again, immediately heading to the downside is Intel. I guess we're working off of VWAP again.
I've been really good this week about not getting in early, but I wanted to get the short in the Nasdaq. It might not be right, I don't know, but it does break that $55 area, and we had sort of looked at 55 here. I know it was underneath it yesterday. I thought we could maybe get a little bit of a push. Now, it does go down into the 90s. I'm sitting now at 90 just to see if that comes in. But I'm going to try this short. And I'm going to get out on a break of VWAP, man. A break of this 30, we're going to get out. So 55.30. And again, it's a decent-sized position, but it's only 30 cents worth of risk. So, could definitely go the other way right there. The other name I wanted to see if we ever went to the downside was Nvidia. And that's not really there yet. I wanted to wait at 180 there for Nvidia, so that's not coming through yet. Tesla long at 44444. We didn't got right there. Tesla 447 up to 452. There goes Tesla right now. So the market catching a little bit of a bid again right now. So we're not gonna average in at all to this. Broadcom is dropping right now apparently as well. Yeah, there goes Broadcom into 375. So we said watch out for that. That's something like what Oracle did, right? Oracle made that bottom and then broke higher. So you could watch out for some Broadcom there. Wow, what a good move there for Tesla. And then one last look at some of the names we were talking about. MSOS in the marijuana space, not really doing a whole heck of a lot there either. So yeah, looking at Netflix, looking at Disney, looking at all that, there goes Netflix to the upside. I'm now short the market, but it might not be for a long time right here as we're going upside now. But let's just see. We're still short here at 55 flat.
Oh, Tesla.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
That was real fast.
Should be going
Tesla to the upside. I am in Intel. There's a halted small capper that we didn't get to. Catapult.
What is Lulu doing?
Quickly get this one to you guys. So VWAP short Intel right now, but Catapult is it KPLT? That's KPLT, which is just broken out going into the open, now halted to the downside at 826. So that's a small capper worth watching. As you said, the weed names. They're moving, but it's not anything crazy yet. So I liked 125 in the daily chart for CGC. I don't even know if you get down there. If you can hold VWAP and maybe break out the top, that could give us a little something. And I liked long in silver, but yesterday was a bit of a chop fest for the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And right now it's almost doing the same thing, like the initial move to the downside. So I'm not going to really pile into this or even just sit there on the bid. That's not going to be the play for me. So I'll stay away from that, at least until the first 15 minutes are in. So there's VWAP on Intel. VWAP's not a big deal early, but it just also happens to be pre-market resistance as well for that name. Tesla's definitely the strong one today. I'm not really seeing anything too crazy. Nvidia is going to the upside, but barely.
Damn it, Nvidia.
Kind of a little bit above VWAP there. And Broadcom, well, and I don't know. I don't think anybody here wanted to buy it on day one.
No.
But you know what? If you liked it at 380, you're gonna love it at 370.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a sales guy. Yeah. So look, I stamped Rivian, man. I was like, I like the long in Rivian. Bang. Rivian up 6% right there. Wow, what a move there for Rivian, going higher right now. So good little look there. I said, the autonomy talk I think is a good one there. So there it goes, man. Rivian. I wish I would have focused a little bit more on that right off the jump there, because both Rivian and Tesla starting to kick right now pretty aggressively, and we've sort of covered those a little bit there. We are very, very happy as we say what a good idea that was for Lulu longs, but it's pulling back a little bit. We did get that move up into 213 right now. Lululemon still up 10%, but again, the guide's not great, and this could fall back just a little bit. So I think I'll let this settle down, have a look at this maybe in the afternoon, and start to, I've already said, piece out of some of my position right there. So on Broadcom maybe, because the market's going. So I'm almost stopped out of this.
VWAP just broke. No, I wasn't talking about Broadcom, although I'll double check Broadcom and jumped about a couple of bucks. No, I was talking about Intel, but at the same moment Nvidia as well. So at the same moment VWAP went on Intel. I think I best feel I got 20s in there, and we're short 30s, but we'll be down on it now, of course. If it gets up to 40, or more like 39.8, I would take another shot. This was relatively weak all day yesterday, so I'm not terribly concerned. It's going to be the strongest stock here. But oh, okay, never mind. Nvidia had just broken above VWAP and holding pretty nicely, and then just a little pullback there for Nvidia. But only 0.5% up. The real story is every time I look over, I just see Tesla gone more. 454 and still churning higher and higher and higher. So yeah, gonna have to be a little bit patient. I do not want to be. It's enticing to just sit on the bid and want to sit on the bid of silver. But I remember, like the first long, it rinsed you on the first long, and it had to wait for it to establish a bit of an upward trend here. So let it do the same thing as yesterday. You know, the early trade was useless, and I think I didn't even get long silver until like after 10 o'clock, to be honest with you. And that's when it really started that upward trend.
Yeah, we took a little bit of pressure off of that TQQ trade, man, as it came back into the teens there. So we got some 15s there. And then we just put that right back on. But if it breaks too much higher than where we are right now, we're going to be out of this futures short. It's not a short, man. I mean, I didn't think Tesla was going to do that. Not that that's what's rallying this market, but a little off. I had talked about, I thought the market was going to be weak there today. And I think we were pretty right off that first tick, but not right late. So we're going to stop out there right now. Oh, breaking through 33, and we're stopping out. So that'll be me hands off, right? We already put that order in the minute it breaks, and there it goes. So we'll have to slap a fail on our first trade there with Intel. With the Qs. I wanted to also look at Nvidia now, because although it's not moving that much, I do think that there is that bid coming. And I wrote down 180. As the long, but it doesn't look like we're even thinking about getting to that right now. So maybe a 181. Let's go put a bid down there on Nvidia at 181 and see if there is a chance for that to come in. And if it does, then let's take it and see where we hold out on that one. I could get back into the Qs at some point here, but let's just let it settle down just a bit. You know, that 50-period moving average is right here, matching the 200 at 55.50 or so. So if we do get up there, which it looks like we're trying to do, maybe that's where we decide to go short, or it's not a short at all, and the market battles all the way back, and we end the week on a positive note. I'm in Marvell, and Marvell and Broadcom kind of can move together. So, you know, another hit today for Marvell on the downside there. Washed out with Broadcom a little bit there. I still really like Marvell. Obviously, we raised some funds yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, on Alibaba at 160. We're going to wait to put it in. We put a little bit in yesterday at $88 on Marvell, so we're going to, or 88.50. This is still going to be a good swap out, but we got to wait for Marvell to do something right now. So, you know, waiting to get a little bit more capital into that name. There goes Broadcom as well, but there goes MSOS.
There goes Costco.
Yeah. Oh, Costco. Damn.
Costco's green.
That was a name we wanted to look at. Oh, I forgot about that in the pre-market. Okay.
Doesn't always move a lot on earnings, but Costco was down. Obviously, they've been getting hit a little bit here, as you can see on the daily chart. No questions asked. So is this the bottom on Costco? 888s, everybody.
Yeah.
That's an obvious, easy level to look at. I don't know how many people trade this stock, given how expensive it is, but we'll throw it out there because it is moving. You're catching a bid here in Bitcoin as well. I'm going to throw up IBIT. But Bitcoin bouncing pretty nicely, and it's also attempting to break out. So the market looking pretty good. Tesla looking like it's going to be, wow, okay, it's Tesla 458. Well, this that feels like a trap. Like breaking out the high from last Friday feels a little bit like a trap 9 minutes into the day. Yeah, that's way too early to be taking a breakout in Tesla. I think maybe play like the dip if it dips off that 58 level, because it's too far gone. Silver's still trending down. I'm glad I'm being patient there. I thought maybe we'd see more action in these weed stocks, to be honest with you. Like there's CGC, can't even hold VWAP, won't break the high. Tilray, well under VWAP and still falling. MSOS, under VWAP and still falling. So the weed names are I mean, it's only 9 minutes in, but they're a colossal disappointment right now. I guess we shouldn't be too surprised about it. I don't know why I thought maybe there could be something there.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find you in the chat here, but this thing just goes way too fast. I can't. But here it is right here. I wanted to say, someone said they made a couple grand off that MSO. There it is right here. What's up, Saturday Monk? Thanks, guys. Made a few hundreds, if that's fine. Doesn't matter, hundreds, grands, whatever, on that MSOS short. So I had talked about that. I don't like the short. I don't like the long, sorry, in MSOS. I said that's just, it's too risky to take the long. So I think the short is a little safer for you. But if you're still in that position, 475, like that's the 200-period moving average. I know it's going to be skewed a little bit here, but that's something that I look at just with my current settings. Look at that. bouncing off. So we'll wait to see. Normally you want to let it settle down a little bit to have 200 data points, but this starts at 8 o'clock. So right now you're at like 90 plus minutes or so. I'm just hearing in our ear Tesla continuing higher. So I did put on a bid now. I'll take something out here at 42s if it does come back in, but that's the 50-period moving average, and then maybe again at 32, and then we'll wait to see what winds up happening. But we just got another fill there on the TQs, just short at like I said, at that 200-period moving average right there. So we were short early, it was wrong. Let's just see if we can make it back a little bit. I'll tell you when I'm flat or when I'm green on the stock, if this does continue to go down. You know, VWAP would be a good out. We just put an order there at 32 with the 21-period moving average. Then we have VWAP, and then we'll see about that break lower into 55. But it still needs work to do on that one. Let's check out.
Rivian just hit last week's high. So it's simultaneous with Tesla. Tesla and Rivian just both hit those tops at the same moment. Just going into so last Friday. Last Friday it was 1850 for them. It was 458 for Tesla. They're both at the same spot at the same time here as they're both going absolutely ham. It is, I mean, obviously, they are the big movers this morning, no question about it in the EV space. Ooh, Intel just got to 40. I just threw the order trying to get it. All right, so Intel just got all the way to 40, so I liked it under VWAP, and we waited for it to go all the way to the morning highs of yesterday, and now looking to try the fade at the next level. So you know what? You go one, go the other, and someone wants you to get that.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking about getting that, so maybe
then he's going to show it off.
Exactly, of course. Yeah, we'll do it.
Well, not live.
I remember when Sharif went and did his test drive, I think it was a Model Y, though, but he was doing this, whenever he's back, we can ask him. He did the FSD, and it kept on turning off because he was trying to record it, so I don't know if that works, but we'll see if that can happen. Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate that, and I'll let you guys know what the decision is on that one. My kids want me to do it as well, so thank you for that $20 to help it. It's $100 a month. So I need 80 more. No, just playing around. All right, so here we go, man. We're making it right now on TQQ. So let's see if we can get some, yes. See if we can get some money back right now on this name as we're getting all them fills, man. And we just talked about this. So profit or not, man, we just put it in. So there it goes, TQs. We're now back to flat on the stock. I told you when I would say that. So we lost early, made back late. So now flat on that name. And what a discussion we had on Rivian. I was like, I like the stock. I'm going long. We're going to try to hold this now. Good talk there that it broke through the highs. There goes Rivian, man. Love that stock now. And let's just see if it goes, man. Rivian Randy must be liking this today. Up 12%. I know he didn't really get the shares he wanted, but still a great call by Randy there. We just bounced off of 10s. Let's put a bid at 10 right now. Hey, man, this could be the banger, Ozan, that we're looking for. So I know you're trying to figure out what your plan of action is there on the futures, but right into there, take some more bids, see if we can get something now at 13, break lower, break through 55, and then get going here on the futures. So it took a minute to get this, but with Tesla heating up, not much we could do. Nvidia also got going a little bit, and just to check back on Broadcom and then maybe some of the weed stocks, but Broadcom's...
they're not weed stocks.
Unfortunately, weed stocks probably not doing much. But there goes AVGO. So yeah, Broadcom not holding. And we saw yesterday by about this time, I think it was, Oracle started to get going. Let me just double check that and then we'll go back over, but we're not in any rushes here, I don't think. That started at 9:35. So yeah, well past that right now. Oracle's bounce started a little earlier than this. But again, Oracle's was already down 40% heading into yesterday's print. So, that's probably why this is happening right now to Oracle as well. So down yesterday, down today, day 2 of earnings, downside. And there it is. So now we are now gross and net positive now on the TQQs. So let's see if, again, position pending, see how low we can get. I'm going to take another bid right here, right now, and just get lighter and lighter on this trade, man. It's going to be a good one. We'll see if we can really light the candle up here on the downside push for the futures. So I'm just been in only this one trade so far, and just a lot of outs there to get us back to green. Now let's see if the initial move that we were hoping for can happen. What about 54.60 now, guys, on the TQs?
Yeah, the market's right back at the lows. Thankfully, waited until 4 on this. Still not going to pull the trigger on silver. It's really tempting to do so, but I'm not going to. Intel got to 40, which was the next level. I shorted 95s. I want to be getting out in front of this afternoon high. just go from one level to the other. Like, remember, like it's trending up, right? So if it's upward trending, then I don't want to be sitting here thinking it's going to be, an all-day short. That's not the road I want to be on necessarily. But the market is coming. That's the thing. The other thing I have to consider as well is, I was able to catch a top here, but the market's at the low. And so I got the pullback on a strong stock relative to the market. So you do usually want to dump it there. Silver's still holding consolidation. So I think I've gotten away from the potential early loss on silver. And watch out for Tesla, everybody. It got to that high from last week. And it's already starting to give you a little bit of a topping tail and pull back. God, that candle's going to annoy me. I'll do that so you can see a bit better. So there's your, it's a close yesterday. Just a dark pool wick. So there was a topping tail candle, but now it's looking a little bit stronger and heading upside again. That must mean that, Rivian, these are lockstep. Basically the same chart right now. So if you're trading Rivian, watch out for if any heavy sellers come into Tesla, I think that could be a little bit problematic. That's what I'd be keying on right now if I was trading Rivian. Like, look at Tesla. It's essentially just following it.
All right, just looking around to see if there's anything else that we may want to talk about. Remember,
probably Lululemon.
Yeah, Lululemon's at the day's high again.
But this is a big. It's above the breakout on the daily and consolidating above. It's very thin, decent sized spread, but like it's holding the top end of the range, which is a big breakout on the daily. Shout out to Lululemon, 12% to the upside. New CEO Mike McDonald.
It was a CFO. They're looking for.
Okay, my bad. No, it's right.
Yeah, they're looking for a new one.
Interim McDonald out, and then they're looking for a new.
Yeah. Check out this, man. Fabian, I don't think that it's actually lighting up when there's a lot of action in it, but if you do hit a whole bunch at one time, watch that. Oopsies. Watch this. If I can figure it out, it's H. You just hold it like this, and then it lights up. So you can see Robinhood. I keep clicking on it. You just have to hover over it and push H. So there it is. Nvidia lighting up. There's Netflix lighting up. This is just... Some of this stuff is so easy to do. I get it, but like Fabian is the one creating all of this, and it's just so cool to me to be able to do things like this. So let's talk about Meta. The stock what?
Hype train.
Hype train, yeah. So we're not going to hype up too many of these stocks because it's you guys that are the ones doing it. But look at this, Broadcom right there. All you got to hit is type $. Let's go TQQs right now. We've got a chicken dinner winner, baby, on this one, man, as we continue to go. So we like you a lot. But yeah, BTCC yesterday was a good name to look at there. So iRobot now up another $5 right there over here. Starting to go SMX, another $200, $224. Right there. Pets was moving around yesterday as well. But yeah, buddy, so far so good as these markets look fine. It took us 5 minutes for this one to put this one back on. So there it goes, man. I'll take a bid now in the low 9. Bang. Right there. Good trade there. Ozan, man, I hope you got this one with me. So there it goes, man. Monster move there for the TQQs. Congratulations on that one if you got it. I mean, who knows how low we're going to go. We said 60s. I do have a bid here at 81. See if that gets a little lower. So we're going to go over to Neil, and then we're going to start talking a little bit more about some names.
Well, we have exciting news for all traders out there who find themselves to be sophisticated or located in Canada, because if you like leveraged ETFs, and Beta Pro by Global X is the largest provider of leveraged inverse ETFs, and they've launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs. We're talking about the S&P, TSX 60, you got semis, we're talking about the treasuries. They also have currency hedging, everybody, which allows you to better focus your trade for performance and exposure. They're dropping their fee to 65 basis points. That's good till the end of the year. So make sure you check them out, because if you're a tactical, sophisticated trader and you want to amplify your performance,
why not?
Scan that QR code in front of you or check out betapro.ca/3x daily, and you can learn. Always want to learn more. Bye-bye, Nvidia. Also, I forgot to mention, Open Door, remember $7 in Open Door, it's about to flat bottom break. You will see short when it breaks 7. Nvidia, there goes the bid, unfortunately. So there was a positive headline for Nvidia, but it's giving it all back here. And it was just speculation. They're kicking the tires at increasing some supply of the H200. Unfortunately, not doing a heck of a lot to buoy the stock as it stands. So here comes finally the run on silver. Either it closed above VWAP, and shows me what it did yesterday, there's your drop, there's your close above VWAP. I still have the trend line that I was using before, but that's what I want to work with. See if we can get it 2 days in a row. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but if it follows the same pattern, I got to have it.
All right. There it is, Ozan. Again, thank you everybody in the chat, man. We are a very, very strong community here. And I saw in the chat there earlier, Ozan, that you said that you were just a couple dollars away or whatever it was, and that you were following me on the short of the market there today. You mentioned that in the pre-market. So I did add, I was a little nervous, to be honest with you, because I know how much it means to you. And I'm just proud that you were able to do that. So congratulations again to another member in our chat, man. We basically, it's hard to get funded, and you just did. So I'm going to say thank you and congratulations to you on that, Ozan. So a big awesome rate there. It's like like I said, I was more nervous for your trade than mine. So there it goes, man. Great to see that, and I'm really glad that you're able to do it. And that's why I talk like that, and why I get excited when those kind of moves happen. I was told I need to give some more energy, so we're doing that. And then I know, can you believe that, Joe? And then also, trying to give you guys trades that you can actually trade off of. You may not have as many outs as I do. You may not have, the exact same ideas, but I think that I've been really nailing some of the momentum plays lately. So it does matter. So thanks, guys, for all of that, and it does mean a lot. So, all right, 92.5 right now, and I just want to celebrate Ozan. It's not saying congratulations to you. All right, so crypto today, I was looking at it. I was thinking it was going to be a bid. We talked about BMNR maybe being a sell. This just came right into there, 52.30. So this could be a buy. Like, I was thinking about these levels. We're not quite at the 200 period yet. So that's down here at 51.90 for IBIT. Would like to see Bitcoin do something a little more than maybe what it is doing. But for right now, I like this talk here on IBIT for the long. BMNR, I thought was setting up maybe for a short. Okay. Well, we'll just not fail on me, but boom, there goes BMNR to the downside. So, that was another one. We were just looking at it from this side of it, right into here, up here. So it's not like it didn't come into the short. I don't have the short, but there it goes to the downside. So sad if you guys own that stock, but again, good little look there for BMNR. Maybe pick something up on weakness. There's a lot of people that believe in Ethereum, and some of these trusts are good ways of getting access to them. But it's just a good way. I think it's better to buy ETHA and buy the IBIT instead of MSTR. But here, let me just see what IBIT's doing quickly on the percentage on the day. So up 0.75, and we'll see what MSTR is doing. Strategy, formerly Micro Strategy. See, so it's like this is down on the day, or it's going back and forth. But that's what we're saying. Like, if you want a pure play, take the pure play.
Yes.
And I think that you'll be happier with that, and then you won't have to battle like what Saylor's decisions are, or
what I've always
the whole lever discussion.
And there was somebody, I forget who even said this. What you say on the floor? It doesn't, like, if being in MicroStrategy because you like the long in Bitcoin causes so much volatility that you end up keep getting out of it or shaking out of it, or you're just constantly fretting about something you want to be holding, then it's no good.
Yeah.
Be in the vehicle that you are comfortable with from a risk standpoint and from a time frame standpoint and all that stuff. And if there's a bigger move in MSTR, what difference does it make if you're never really involved in it because it gets too crazy for you? I forget the trader that used to say that. It's like, okay, well then sometimes the safer play is better because it's the one that you have more of and you hold longer. So I would just go with that. But Tesla, anyways, let's go back to Tesla for a second because this stock is gone now. 462.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing more exciting than Tesla potentially breaking these tops is AEO breaking over 25 and now within $1 of $26, Joe. So that is absolutely happening, Joey Options. I know you've looked at the chart myself. So yeah, we're closed above on silver, on VWAP. So I'm going to try and join this. This is pretty much exactly what happened yesterday. That's not a guarantee that it's going to do the same thing it did the day before, but I'm trying to buy it in this consolidation above the volume-weighted average price. If it loses VWAP, it gives me an easy out on silver. And the best part about it is no matter what, at least I was more patient than I was yesterday, because yesterday I tried going long early on this. Intel just went right back up to 40 and did another turn, but you know what? It's still strong. Like 40's been a good level, but wait for the next big level. It's now holding a decent sized bull flag here above some resistance. So the range doesn't break soon, and this market continues higher, then we're probably gonna have to duck out of this one for sure. The cannabis names, we talked about the rescheduling. It only took about 25 minutes, but finally CGC's at least threatening the top and trying to break out. So now that it's looking strong, once you take the high, I'm looking for the first available dip on CGC, but I wanted the opening range to settle itself out. I think these are good for a couple of days. And then after that, all bets are off as far as I'm concerned. Never really want to get too involved in those outside of a short-term trade. So CGC, I can look at MSOS for you guys too. It's just CGC. I like the fact that it goes like quarter to 50 every single time, and it's not going to go crazy halting on you, whereas MSOS, that's going to halt a little more frequently. Yeah, V-shaped recovery on MSOS as well, so at least the other names are going with it. So maybe you can stay on the weed.
Yeah, I think the weed names are fine here. I mean, it's a good story about it. You're running into that top again on the cannabis play with MSOS, so that's all. But yeah, CGC, Tilray, all those kind of things as well. We did not reload that at VWAP, our futures trade. We were thinking about it, but I just went higher again. I was just like, maybe we have the run that gets us a little higher there, and we can try to short again near this 200 period moving average, but we did not do anything there on that reload, and maybe we should have, but we'll take an out on this dip down in right now back at the 55 flat, so we do get that at least 55 flat there one more time on TQs, so that's going to be one to look at there. And then Lululemon, thank you Marissa, love you, she's asking how my day is, so always the best. All right, so 212, 210 right now, 214. I don't know, Lululemon just holding VWAP really strong, I would say right now, right? I mean, a whole bunch of dips into this. Liquidity's fine. Spread 30 cents, I think that's reasonable for a stock like a Lululemon. So remember, if you're gonna stop out of this, I don't really trade names day one of earnings. Like I didn't do Oracle yesterday. I probably won't trade Broadcom today, but Lululemon here looks to be pretty strong. The only thing is, remember, if you're gonna play off this 209 bottom, you're going to get slippage. So there is, if it breaks 209, you're probably going to get like 208.50. So just understand that, that there's a little bit of a risk there on the amount of shares to use, potentially getting a little bit of a worse price than you may think. So watch out for Lululemon, still like the stock, but a little bit of a downside push would get you through VWAP, so be careful with it. I still think it works. Uber, okay, good little recovery there early, but not late as they make that move down. And we heard, yes, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
No, okay. Sometimes when he hits that, it means we're going over to him.
Oh, MSOS.
MSOS,
nice.
Yeah,
nice,
from $4.90. We'll pull that up. We'll pull this bad boy up right here. We catch the bottom wick right there at 490, get that move up into 518, so not too bad of a look so far, boys.
Okay, good, man, good. I like that, Joe. Thanks for that little talk there on MSOS. But yeah, Uber off that bottom of $84, $85, so right into there. I like that little level coming in for Uber. This is where I bought it. I bought it on this crazy move down day, and we had another one yesterday. We've got some bad coverage of Uber. I forget who it was. Said some negative things about Uber and Lyft the other day. So I don't know. Yeah, some sort of an investment bank or analyst or something came through there. So we'll, I'll take it with a grain of salt until it actually means something.
It was much worse for Lyft. Lyft got really...
Oh, man. Yeah, Lyft was bad, too. I don't like Lyft nearly as much as Uber. I was telling you that Uber, I just got in my app yesterday, welcome to Uber Ski. I don't even know what that is. But okay, so we wrote down 180 on Nvidia. That came into 180.30s. Didn't take it because we're favoring the short in the market, but that also a possible trade. And let's check out Tesla right now, 460. So I know I stuck my neck out and said that we could get to 480 by the time this week ends. That was last Monday. We said that when we were down here. We got that robotics news. I believe that was last Monday or Tuesday. And I was thinking that that's going to rifle this thing back into highs. Not mission accomplished on the 480, but definitely mission accomplished on breaking out right now through the December highs right now and going higher, I think, is Tesla. New update on the car last night. Pretty cool. You can now use Grok for navigation. So you can now talk, and this is what I'm talking about, the guts of the car. You can now talk to Grok. It will, you tell it like, oh, send me to the hottest burger joint around, and it will just find it for you and direct you to it. It's just, it's fun stuff. You could do all that stuff on your phone, but now with hands-free.
So where does it direct you then?
Wherever, I didn't ask it, but it'll, if you just tell it like.
No, I thought maybe you would actually ask that.
No, but that's like some of the examples it says. Like if you could say, navigate me to the nearest Starbucks, and it will do that. I mean, it's just stuff, it's just fun stuff like that. And talking to it about it, so my kids.
Oh, there's a dump.
Yeah, they have all that stuff, and then they have different modes. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's more about full self-drive. So here it comes. Pulling back now is Tesla right now into 460. So that might have been enough today. We don't really have. Remember what we said? Brendan and Sharif started there with, oh my God, Tesla's numbers are way down, this and that. I was like, I don't know if that even matters. The market didn't care about that report, obviously, as Tesla continues to go higher right there. So I'm not worried about any of the car releases there on Tesla. I'm just worried about the ebbs and flows of the stock. And here we go, man. We should have reloaded it, but we'll put that money right back in our damn pocket here again, man. And there it goes. The future is downside. It's the only trade your boys got on, and it's definitely a good one here to start. Let's see how long we can hold it for. My next bid is in the 60s. I'm just going to wait for that level right here. 65 is my next bid there. But I look at the P&L, and I'm like, basically a slave to that. Like I see it and I'm like, oh, I should take it because in case that goes back up there again. But let's see if we can hold, and if we do get a drop down here on the day. Oh yeah, no Adair. I looked over at Brendan's desk. I'm like, where's Brendan? But he's back over there. Okay, so news with Brendo. What's going on at the big desk, Brendan? It's happening.
Yeah, market back downside right now, guys, but we are starting to see some buyers stepping in a little bit so far this morning, about 0.4 for the Nasdaq right now. A little bit more for the S&P if you missed it or just joining a little bit late this morning. A couple of different things as far as catalysts for the overall market this morning. The AIEO that was signed yesterday late in the day, giving a boost to some AI names, but specifically as a group in general, kind of clearing the way for federal regulation versus state level regulation on AI in general, viewed as a positive right across the board. Nvidia shares we're higher initially. We are coming back in. This pre-market move up to 183 is what I was mentioning. We are coming back in right now for Nvidia. Just real quick, I wanted to drag this over. This is gold on a daily chart. We've been talking about silver for most of the week, but we are right here right now. The futures anyways, 43.98 is all-time highs for gold on the futures. On watch currently, as you guys were mentioning, Tesla. Absolute monster today, 448 up to above 460, coming back in a little bit right now. We're getting Waymo, so that's kind of exciting. Approved for Toronto for the first time. Any autonomous ride sharing coming north of the border, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, we were talking a little bit about the U.S. delivery numbers and the U.S. sales numbers downside again, but comparatively, the other manufacturers starting to creep higher on that list. Chevrolet, GM, even Ford mentioned on that list as well. We talked about this one. Also, Disney to the upside, guys, extending this rally that we've seen over the past 3 days. If you missed it yesterday, $1 billion with a B going into OpenAI. They're also going to do a licensing deal so that Sora can use some of the characters from the Disney library, guys, going forward. So big deal for Disney. Great week for Disney. Back over to you guys.
Qs near the low. We're getting some more out here on those triple Qs. Big Bear AI also, before I do this, Big Bear AI, so we just got out more on the Qs. This is going to be a great way to end the week, as well as looking at what's going on with Big Bear AI. Nice little move to the upside right now. But we do want to thank OGen. Millions of concussions, 0 approved therapies. Orogenics, symbol OGEN, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. There's over $9 billion market on the horizon with Orogenics, and it is positioned to drive through it. This is a big block for them. Go check it out. Book a meeting immediately with OGen. Check their QR code that comes on our screen and the link in description as well. There it is. Yes, with OGen. There we go, man. Boom. We get exactly where we wanted out there, down there at 65. Man, a banger position, banger trade right there for the TQQs, man. Just a good move to the downside. Micron, I'm hearing maybe also moving lower.
Nvidia 180.
Nvidia's at my level 180.
Tesla's at VWAP.
Yeah. So banger trade there on the Qs. So just waiting for that. I wrote down Nvidia 180, but I don't know, man. This market is really, yes, sir. This market's really falling down. There goes the TQQ.
Yeah, great one. I just got to my target on Intel. I'm gonna respect the fact that this is obviously a stronger market. It went from 40. I said I'd play it back into this 39.7 level. It bounced, wick bottom. There was another wick bottom, which got me out of it, and want to look for the next opportunity. CGC still not. Look, the wheat stocks, little bit of a pullback, but I said I'd wait for VWAP here. So I'm basically sitting in front of VWAP. I'm literally like 1 cent away from getting the fill. There's no point moving it here. I'm just going to wait for it to come back in. Do have to double check on MSOS. And I wanted to go over a couple of halts for you. One, Beasley. You might remember them as BBGI, not BBAI, BBGI from a couple of days ago. Up halt after successive down halts. This one's filling in the entirety of the gap so far. But halted to the upside is this name. And there was one other one, RYM. Rhythm, which someone just asked me, why is it halted for so long? Well, there's no liquidity. Sometimes they don't reopen it after 5 minutes and do a 10-minute halt because there's no liquidity. If it's more than that, they really can't find any on the other side. This is traded 37,000 shares only. Clearly, they want to be able to make a market here before they reopen it. There's literally no volume on this whatsoever. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. You just cannot manage risk on a name like this. So I would stay away, far, far away. Silver did not hold VWAP for myself, so I got out, but it's going to try to hold again. So just like yesterday, the initial move failed, waited for it to hold VWAP again, didn't quite do it, but I'm still willing to be in it. I think we took it 3 or 4 times yesterday, and every time after 10 o'clock was good. So I'm going to look for it to reestablish VWAP, see if I can't get into it again. Or it can start to do this, just to make it real simple. There's your low, there's the second low. If it can now start following a trend line, like it did earlier, then I just start buying on the trend line. But if it doesn't, I don't have to be in the trade. If this ends up breaking trend and going down, then I'm not going to be in a silver long just because. Like, that wouldn't make any sense.
All right, let's have a quick little check on Rivian. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I finally got into. I bought gold GLD around that 260 mark. We talked about that or so when it broke the first time, and then we just bought dip at 375 on GLD just to find something other than tech names to be involved with. So we did pick up some gold there in the old PA there. So really happy, obviously, with that trade so far. So we'll see if it can continue to work out for us. That is the GLD trade. But yeah, Rivian is definitely working out up to that 19. This is at that mark that we've talked about a few times. So let's see what winds up happening here through $19 for Rivian. Potential top, that is for sure. Wow. Okay, man, we are in one now, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be just a real satisfying Friday. There it goes, man, to that downside. Couldn't really be that much happier with this trade right now. Really happy for my guy Ozan in the chat there, and happy for anybody that's sort of been copy trading or following around with some of these trades. We've been talking about how the market sort of, you know, I use the TQQs, but the market has been a real good sort of, I don't know, proxy for my trading. And I'm not even looking anywhere else. Like, I was looking at that Nvidia 180 level, but again, like, just with what's been happening, there's really no point in getting over there right now. We're just going to hold on to this short. And, you know, for those of you that are looking for more long-term, I mean, I thought right here was it. So right now, I still have a third on. So that's why I'm like more excited about this. So now we'll look at 54 flat right there to see if we can hold from yesterday's levels. And then after that, man, we got to sort of extend out a little bit further. And I'll just call it up on e-signal so I don't wreck the charts that I currently have on right now. And this is it. This is the break that we're waiting for. So if 54 can break, then we can get into a little bit lower, maybe 53.60s, 53.50s. But nice downside play so far there on the Nasdaq. And yeah, it's going to be, you know, naturally a green day over here. We weren't green yesterday. We talked about that, but we are definitely there today. So yeah. Okay, now we're getting even more excited as there goes the futures. Now $1.30 in the money. So good one there. And yeah, Broadcom, Oracle probably getting killed right now as well to the downside. Yeah, wow.
About to tick SSR.
Broadcom's about to tick SSR right there. I see you've got the weed names over there. You got weed on the mind.
Well, it's just VWAP on CGC. The weed names actually have been quiet, I'd say. Like inside range for MSOS, top to bottom, 480. It's like whatever. 10% move is not nothing, but it's up 30%. But just going inside range. I like CGC because it's relatively strong right now. MSOS, if it bounces off the prior low, then I'm able to take CGC off of the volume weighted average price, and it's doing a higher low. So higher low versus a support level, I'll take that 10 times out of 10. Someone in the chat was like they missed the reload on Intel at 40. I'm not even sure the reload was. There was no reload off 40. I think maybe you're talking about 39.8. Like the lower high that just came in to take us all the way to VWAP for sure. But it's making a big time reversal candle there, so just be careful. Intel is up on the day into a red market. So yeah, it was a short off of 40, but it's also a relatively strong stock at the moment, and can't really ignore that. So I'm picking CGC just because it's holding trend to the upside, while MSOS as a group is not. And that's what I care about. Like I want to be in, if you're going to go long in the weed stocks, at least try to pick the one that looks like it's trending the best, right? Like it's the same thing in any sector. Like why be in the one that's the weakest? You don't want to be fighting the trend if you don't have to. Sometimes, you get to a price and you like it, like Intel at 40, but you don't want to fight the trend overall. It's going to get you into some trouble.
All right. Thank you so much to Joy Tinder Singh. What's up, Joy Tinder Singh? Sean, you're the best in perfecting momentum. Thank you so much. I don't know about the best. I need to learn how to manage my profits. Same as me, man. You sold all your puts, should have held on longer. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? I mean, we all have our things, and for me, it is trying to hold on for a little bit longer is what I've been working on. So, we'll all have something that we need to work on, and, finding winning trades and all that doesn't seem to be a problem, but maximizing them always does. And that's the thing about trading, especially when you're, trading momentum, like clearly I do here. You need to judge. There's also momentum that can go wrong. We saw yesterday with Apple where the momentum early was to the long and then it just tanked real hard. And you're seeing that with Rivian right now. Like if you were long Rivian, I mean, how do you basically hold it still? I mean, it comes right up to that 19. That might have been a level that you were thinking about. So you take out the profit there at 19 and then you let it go a little bit higher. So my suggestion to you and to everybody out there, try to hold on to a little bit more. And I started with 5% and then 10%, and I just told you I still have a third left. So we're able to get out more down here when we have that. So yeah, it's just one of those things where if you're going to trade momentum names, it is something to watch out for and be careful about, because sometimes the momentum can bite you in the butt, and something that all of a sudden looked great turns around on a dime, which is why, and I know Dara's not here today, but watching the news, watching what we're doing, talking a little bit about like this, and I mean, just watch every day, and that's why we talk about it. Like, I've only traded one name. I know Neil's traded a couple, but just watch the style, watch the strategies. Every stock can be different. You're not going to get huge moves, maybe on a stock like a Ford or something like that, or earnings days are going to be bigger than other days. So, this kind of talk is good, and just understanding where your stock is and what you do best. And try to focus on that. So I think we found our little niche here as well, and it's really great to see all of you guys appreciating that. And we'll go 1 for 1 today. It doesn't mean that our next trade will be profitable, but we are looking for more, and I do appreciate all the nice talks there. That is for sure. So, good job. Let's keep going on this. TQ's nice downside right here, 54.40. I think we've gotten almost as low as we may get right now, 54.20, 54.30 here on the TQQs.
Yeah, and what I want to say to that, there was a couple of people sort of saying in the chat there, maybe you like this style or that style, you like to hold, you like to scalp. You just got to do whatever works for you. We actually were at lunch and had this exact conversation yesterday with the heads of literally real trading. Like one of the biggest net risk, well, I won't say the exact name, but one of the heaviest trades yesterday was some penny stock. I don't even think we even talked about it. No. It was a crazy penny stock. They did a bunch of volume, and there was some traders that were all over that. And then there's other traders that might like to trade Teslas, and there's some traders that might trade Europe. whatever works for you, just do more of that. I think it's perfectly fine to have a different setup or strategy, so long as it makes sense to you and you can make it work. Like I'll give you an example here. Like on a breakout trade of Tesla, like I would have taken a 450. If I take a 450 break, I promise you, I'm scalp out at the first dollar. And for sure, I know me on an open trade, I'm probably all out, or if not, almost all of it out right here in the 55, 56. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Just take the money and run on a move like that. It's the same thing for Intel, right? Like, okay, did I get the full move down? No. You can slap a fail on that, fine, but fair enough. On a day like yesterday, which was trickier, then I didn't have a losing trade yesterday. On a day where it's like, it's interesting like that. Like sometimes you can have that kind of a style make you a little bit more consistent, but you will miss out. There's always a trade-off. Everything in life is trade-offs. And the trade-off is sometimes you're not holding the bigger move if you're going to scalp a little bit more. Let's see if we can go. We have not talked about a couple of bigger cap names that I want to mention. One, market low, Apple VWAP. Apple's holding a lot of strength right now. So nice consolidation on Apple higher. That's worth mentioning. You want to try to find relative strength and weakness oftentimes in markets. And load, I'll juxtapose that. Just an example, here's Meta sliding back in. So not all the Mag 7 names are looking really weak right now. Apple holding up very, very well. At least for now. I don't want to, don't at me if Apple drops 2 seconds from now. But it is holding pretty well. So I think if the market bounces off these lows, I don't mind pivoting over to an Apple and saying, hey, that looks like a good trade because I've now observed that it's relatively strong. It wasn't on my radar before, but anytime it's stronger than the market, it's going to be.
Okay, great. I mean, obviously great talk about different styles. Okay, here we go. Nice downside move again here, but it's Nvidia that's trying to hold. We did write down Nvidia at 180. So that's trying to hold right now, but we did get that dip down into 175. So we'll have to wait to see where we go from there now on NVDA. Broadcom still probably going a little bit lower as well. 366. So down that 10%. I don't know if it did not go SSR yet, but it will go SSR very, very soon right now. So this is going to go SSR just a matter of seconds. So let's just wait to see if it does hit that. I mean, the market is in a little bit of a free fall right now, down 1%. We're still going to get greedy and get a little bit lower, hopefully, there on the Nasdaq. And again, trying to think about how many shares we have left. Probably about 25% now left on this TQQ trade. I do have tons of outs, right? But they're not all like one board lots. You know, some of them could be 20 shares, whatever, right? And I mean, to Neil's point again about the different strategies, like some stocks and some strategies and traders will just use different share amounts too, right? Like I have enough shares that I could have all of these outs, right? And so we don't pay. I actually get paid for all of these outs. Every time I'm bidding using an ARCA or a Nasdaq. And so if I had to pay like $2.99 or $1 or 50 cents or anything for any of these outs, it would be expensive, and this wouldn't make any sense. So to Joy Tinder's point, trying to hold a little bit longer on that. I laughed because that's probably not your name, just your handle. All right, so Alibaba, again, you know, we got some out yesterday at 160, trying to raise a little bit of capital there. Alibaba, I think, wants to break out one way or the other here. I don't think there's any questions about that right now, but it's trying to figure itself out. So I just didn't want to sit around and wait for this. Like, we had bought it at 160 when it came back in. You know, we talked to Brian, we talked to Kevin O'Leary, we talked to a bunch of different people, that Michael Noss, all this kind of stuff. I don't think Michael has a preference against, I mean, this guy's trading Fartcoin and all that stuff, so I don't think he would worry about the Chinese angle of it, but it's just, we're underneath. It's starting to slope down a little bit here with Alibaba. I'm still in the name, but I did get out of a quarter of my holdings there at 160, and 160 was an average up. We hadn't got long into here. We were sad when we missed this breakout right there on Alibaba, and we basically watched it all the way up, and then we talked about trying to bid 150. Unfortunately, we weren't there this day. Our 150 was canceled. I don't keep them live in the market for that long. And then when it broke through 160, I was like, okay, let's take the 160, and now Alibaba's coming back in just a little bit. So I still think there is a lot of love for China names in this market, but at the same time, we wait for tariffs, we wait for more word on the H200 and things like that. I mean, that could really affect Alibaba. If they start taking in some Nvidia chips instead of, you know, using the homegrown there, we talked about the Quen model for their large language and some of their chips that they're dealing with in Alibaba. If AMD and Nvidia and Broadcom and Intel and all these guys could just pay a 25% tariff or tax, I guess, and get into China, then I don't think that bodes too well for my guys over there.
I want to answer this question. There's
You
something
can always
you said
do that.
that Real Gary just asked, which is a good question. Can you mention it or explain how real trading pays you for out? So that's not the way that it necessarily should be worded. Think of it this way. The market pays you in a general sense, depending on the gateway. Here, I'll just use something that's not going to move around. Open door, there, a little tighter spread. The market's going to pay you for adding liquidity on any particular gateway that pays a rebate. So Nasdaq, ARCA, MEMX, BATS, EdgeX, like these all pay a rebate if you sit on that book and are filled with someone removing liquidity from you. Someone sells into you at 71 and you buy 71s waiting for the fill, anywhere from $1 per 1,000 shares or $2 per 1,000 shares, depending on the gateway, you get that. Real trading just passes that on to you. That's a market rebate that you get. But if you remove liquidity, if you buy ARCAs at 01s, then you're paying that fee. Like you're actually paying more than that. They make that spread. So I think it's probably $2.8 or $3 per 1,000 shares that you will pay on Open Door if you buy that. So that's a market fee that just gets passed on. Now, to the extent that your broker does or does not pass on rebate fees, a lot of the discount brokers where it's like free trading, well, what's going to happen is you're just going to get your free trades, or it used to be like you pay a round number, and then they would not pass on the rebates for you, but they also wouldn't charge you for removing liquidity. So just to give you an idea, that's what's meant. It's just the market rebate on the gateway, or it could be an actual removing liquidity fee, and that just gets passed through. So if you're sitting on the bid, like I'm sitting on the bid on open on that 7 break, I'm sitting first at 96, you get filled, you get paid a rebate to do so. Over the course of time, it'll add up, but for most traders, you probably don't care. Let's go to, I almost said Adara, but it is Brendan right behind me.
Busy day, guys, as far as small caps are concerned. The group itself, however, coming back to the downside currently. Nice day yesterday. We're giving some of that back right now. If you missed it, all about weed stocks when you look at small caps specifically today. Some of the crypto miners as well moving around here, I noticed just before it came on. But anyways, it was the Washington Post that reported it initially, that the Trump administration bringing this reclassification conversation back to the surface, once again going to a Schedule 3 drug for marijuana in the U.S. in general, which would put it along the lines of a regular pharmaceutical, which would be huge for the industry, obviously. So absolutely anything related to cannabis to the upside in a big way after the close yesterday is when this came out. This is that YCBD. Nice move after the close into the pre-market this morning. We get another run to the upside, giving most of that back right now. I mean, all of these going to look very similar. This is AKAN. Same story. A little bit lighter on the volume side of things, a little bit lower priced as well, coming back in at this point. And Tilray, worth noting, among the weakest, giving more than the rest back at this point. Back to session lows, just trying to bounce right now. But it was straight down right out of the open, guys, for TLRY. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sir Brendan. And yeah, surprising that the cannabis name that recently did a reverse split is going to be the weakest one. That I don't think should be too surprising for anybody. But you know what? It might be a surprise to you to learn that a name like BTCC, top 30 globally, has never been hacked. What? No, they haven't. BTCC, an exchange that's never once been hacked while others are getting wrecked. They've also got zero KYC if you're in the US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, you can get a 100 USDT coupon for registering and a 15% bonus that covers losses up to 15 grand US. What are we missing here? Not much, but only if you're not. If you scan that QR code you see out in front of you for more information, shout out to BTCC for sponsoring. Crypto not really doing a heck of a lot here today. Sorry, just Open Door broke that $7. What's weird is sometimes, here's a little anecdote. Sometimes on a break, if you end up getting the actual, on a stop order, if you get the actual price of the break level, sometimes it means it's not going to go right away. Now, thankfully, it didn't break the prior bar high. But what that means is as the level's breaking, somebody in that moment is buying it as it's breaking 7. So when your order fires, you actually get like 99.5 or 7 evens, which is atypical and sometimes means it's going to bounce. And it in fact did bounce a couple of pennies there on open door. But I wanted to go over and talk a little bit about what's going on with crypto or Bitcoin. Breaking lower after the, let's just say, a solid run in the afternoon yesterday. You guys saw what happened to Bitcoin in the last 15 minutes or so, making a big move almost all the way back. So the buying in the last 10 minutes started right here at 91.5 on BTC, which is 52 on Bitcoin. And now you're really starting to give it up. So yeah, crypto, well, I say crypto, but it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin heading to the downside along with the market, giving up all of those gains in the last 10 minutes of the day yesterday.
All right, we are here at Real Trading, and we are really trading, and there goes the TQQs right there to the downside. So we'll take it again. We're at about a day and a half so far there for our goal, but we're trying to hold it. We talked about that. That break of 54, we zoomed it out. We've got it right there, right now. Look, man, over 8,300 watching right now. Let's hit that like button, get that going a little bit. If you can, join our chat, man. A lot of good talk here in the chat today, including the John Doe saying, short MSTR, short MSTR, short MSTR right there. And some people talking also about Tilray. What's up to Pro Day Trader there as well. And if you tag Neil and I, you can ask us about anything you want. Obviously, you can ask us whatever you want, go for that, and we'll see where we go with that. But make sure you do hit the join button as well. We've had a couple new members lately, and we have over 1,700 members right now. And the big thing about this is it's only $5 a month. What you're going to do is, for fun, you get all these fun emojis. So that's the first part. But this is what we've just added recently over the last couple months. It's this morning research node. So if you are interested in gaining more information, and I'll just show you what it's all about right here. So here's the morning note. I'm zoomed to the top. It's 14 pages today. Broadcom, earnings beat, revenue acceleration, the trader takeaway, key levels there as well. Costco, we haven't even talked about that. All their memberships there. Trump, executive order to centralize AI. Here's all the possible looks there. Google, OpenAI, Super PAC, the Mag 7, everything in here. Support and resistance. You're talking Lulu shares right there as well. CEO exit. All this information for just $5 a month, man.
Scroll to the bottom if you can, just for a quick.
Yeah, sure. Of course I can.
Go right into the end. Because you know what? There's a lot of stories in there that are like obvious ones that I think like everyone might be interested in. But you have the Microsoft story, which we didn't even get to. There was Intel in there. It was Eli Lilly.
Yeah, they're all
like,
here.
It's in depth. Like has anyone? We looked at Eli Lilly. Do we trade Eli Lilly? Probably not. However,
absolutely not.
However, if you're preparing yourself for like what's happening in the market, there's a little bit of something for everybody in that note. Right? Like if maybe you're swing trading GLP stocks. That's why it's a little bit more comprehensive. Whereas, we're going to be focused on what's actively moving and what's actively trading. That's the good thing about that note is it kind of fits for everybody.
There it is right there.
A little something for everybody. Atlanta Jake, you just joined today because of the note. Shout out to you. Thank you, Atlanta Jake. You're probably really happy. I went to bed. I couldn't stay up. I didn't stay up to watch that game. But good win for the Falcons. I'm assuming you were a Falcons.
The Falcons win,
yeah. I just only saw 29-20.
I don't watch it at all.
Yeah, again, I even had Bijan in the fantasy league, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I can't stay up for that. But unfortunately, we're playing Kyle Pitts, so I'm even with Bijan going nuts, still behind the 8 ball because that dude just decided out of nowhere to have
both guys outperformed, right? You got Bijan there.
Bijan outperformed a little bit because he's the best player, best or second best player.
No, but I'm saying his average. You think he he almost doubled his average.
No, he did. He was 40% over his average. I think his average in our league is 25, 26.
Oh, is it? Okay, he got 36. Yeah, okay.
Pitts put up 50 points.
Oh, no, Pitts was ridiculous. 10. Pitts was ridiculous.
But that's the thing about betting and, sports, daily fantasy and all that kind of stuff. It's incredibly difficult to predict, and the samples are so small in football. That's the end of the day. Chide in the chat, I can't pronounce that name, but easy answer for you. The reason Broadcom did not halt is because going down 10% doesn't trigger a halt in and of itself. The halt bands are traveling down a specific percentage point within a specific time. If it goes 10% down in a 3-minute span, it'll halt. But going 10% down overnight or trending down, that's not going to be enough. So you don't really have to worry about a stock like Broadcom halting. That's very unlikely because it has far too much liquidity. So Yeah, the hope bands are a little bit more time-based than anything else, and those are based on the price of the stock. So they're different between $1 and $5, and then 5 and like $20, I believe, and then penny stocks are a little bit different, but they're all time-based.
So we, like our for $5, it's virtually free. One thing that is 100% free. Now that note will give you some talk about trades. It'll give you some breakdown of what's been happening. But right here, I put something out from day one. Oh, I actually forgot to attach the actual note to this, so maybe I should do that. But right there, the TQQ, the 55 short. That was the #1 trade idea on here. We left these longs alone once we saw what was happening. We'll go back. I mean, Tesla long at 444. That never hit anyways. Nvidia, I imagine, is not there as well. And then MSOS long. But right there, man, the only thing that we talked about was the TQs. We printed it out here. Now, $1 later, where we go to the downside. So there it is, man. This is the one. It's the one for me there today. And I actually will have to post up. I forgot to include the sticky note there, but all the writing is in there right now. So there it is. Now it is now $2 in the money, and I'm going to get out another small piece right now at this level. Put a bid there at, well, we're at 43. Maybe let's go a little bit higher. Let's go to 53. There we go. We'll get that 53 fill. And now, well, here it comes back in again anyways. So good little out there. And again, just to the point of making money here, if I put a bid, like I'm going to put a bid right now at 36. So if this comes down and fills me at 36, I'm going to get paid by one of these gateways to get that fill right here. But if you want to talk about numbers from yesterday, let's go over and see who made all the money here at Real Trading. And this will just show you, so that we're sitting on a prop floor here. This will show you the top 10 traders. I don't have the bottom. I mean, there's going to be guys that lost this much money, I would assume, as well, possibly. So Amex, New York, and Nasdaq, right there, 19,000 yesterday was a top trader in the firm. And then we had someone else with basically the exact same 3 markets. So these are the markets traded. This is how much money in US dollars they made. So converted over. Someone in Canada made 12.5. So then again here, Canada, TSX Venture, and the CSE, 9. So 10, 999 as it goes down. Nothing exciting on there. And we do also have, like when you talk about all the markets that are traded there, these are the top ones. So someone there in Blue Ocean made $3,600 last night. Someone in Hong Kong made 14. The Turkish markets, 14. OTC markets, 12. Shout out to Jeff, Copenhagen, and it goes on and on and on and on then right now. So, those are a little bit of what we're talking about. And like if I were to make that list, or just for example, I've only traded NASDAQ today, so it would just say one market NASDAQ. And if I flip over and trade, XOM or something on the New York, then that will be that as well. So yeah, Hypercube, I mean, what got me into the trade was just honestly, the market was down today. Broadcom was bad. Oracle was bad yesterday. I wasn't expecting Tesla to take off, so we did actually get stopped out early right there on VWAP break, and then we just waited for the 200 period and then smashed it short. You got to favor one way, and I favored short. So when that happens, obviously it's pay dirt right there. So, you got to have that ability to trade different styles. Like, obviously I scalped the living, out of most names, but also try to have the ability to hold a little bit. So I just thought today might be a downside day, and we're through Fed. We're now through all the major earnings. The last 2 major earnings names were not great. Costco was red today to start with as well, and just
it got green.
And then it got to start with, and then Apple also.
Never mind.
Had a bad day yesterday, which sent the market downside. So I was just feeling red, and I think you got to have some of that bias, and it's definitely been. We had that question from Adam the other day. It's been something that's been helping a lot. Was just try to figure out, where levels are even a little bit lower, and then really use more shares on ideas that you really do believe in. So, this was it, and now we're happy to see, the reaction to this there today. But it's 10:30 already, so there's going to be lots of opportunities. And before I throw it back to Neil, I just want to check out what Lululemon was doing real quick. See, so there's the fade right back there in Lululemon. We talked about that as a potential, right? I wanted to get out of this name, so I still think we will still get out of some there. But that 211 high, and I said it's just run right into this level right there. But it's just some coming out right now for Lululemon. Not a great guide at all. And nailed that one, right? We said that the biggest mover early, it was Lulu. I think Broadcom right now, though, has gone that SSR.
It did, yeah.
So to start the day there, anybody that voted Lulu with me yesterday, I said we would be in the minority, but it does have the biggest move there.
I thought we were picking a stock that we liked the best. Not the biggest move.
Yeah, it was biggest upside move, wasn't it?
I don't know. I thought we were voting for the one that we thought would go up.
It doesn't matter. You made it. We can go back and look at it. But cheers to anybody that had Lulu there today on that.
I think I just put which one was going to be. Which one would you buy? I think I put.
I think it was which one was up the most.
Or up the most at the open, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, either way, you're a winner with Lululemon.
And it was there were a lot of votes for, surprisingly, Costco. That's the one I was shocked that it was like 25 to 30% or something like Costco. Costco doesn't really move on earnings. That's the one thing about it. But there was a discussion, Netflix, a good one. Netflix, Rye in the chat. We'll talk about some Netflix. We haven't looked at that yet. But I want to give an example. Someone was asking about, holding and strategy and all that kind of stuff. So I want to be quick about it here. Like, CGC wanted to hold VWAP. I'm in at 42. The second it breaks evens, I'm getting out there like 38.5. And in order to make it work, you want to hold through the high of the day, and you have to have shares when it breaks the high of the day. Like, the idea is, in trading a lot of times, but everyone do your own thing. And I'm going to go back over to open. So that's what happens when it doesn't. Get out right away. Don't hold it to the low of the day. But also with open, like if I'm not getting out of a 7 short till it breaks 705, then I'm also not taking anything out till it gets to 95. And then I'm waiting till it gets to 90. And then now I'm going to wait. And now I want to see it get to 80. Now, do I think open goes too much further than that? I don't think so. And one of the reasons is it's been putting in some higher lows, and this has been a support that's held for a while underneath 7. Like, it's been holding like 80s underneath 7 for a while. So I think it's a second trade underneath there. The downside for this stock, and we've been talking about this a little bit, is this little wedge that it's been forming, like this wedge pattern. And it works both ways. You break the wedge down, I think Open Door could be in for a bit of a dump, but that's a pattern on the daily. It hasn't actually broken the wedge on the daily, so I don't think it's in complete flush mode yet. That could happen today, and maybe we're looking at that tomorrow, or it wouldn't be tomorrow, that'd be on Monday for a continuation short on Open Door. Not looking too good. Although it wasn't this that was a mover. It was next door that was supposed to be the next big thing that Eric Jackson was talking about. But speaking of next, Netflix, it is relatively strong. So I'll give you that. When it loads, that's right, not split adjusted. It is relatively strong. It's still up 1.7%, but it's also reversed its gains. Tesla reversed its gains. Netflix has reversed its gains under VWAP. It's still looking very, very good. And we were saying this yesterday. If you are, and well, the day before as well, Warner Brothers, it didn't just give you another shot. It gave you the chance to sell $30 today. Like, to me, that's a gift. Every day that passes that Netflix does not raise their bid it decreases the likelihood that they will. It doesn't mean they won't do it, but every single day, there is no higher bid yet from Netflix. So you don't even know that Skydance is going to even get the $30 favored by the board, and then that's going to be the deal that goes through. The Netflix deal is not close to $30 in value. It's like 27 something. Maybe like high 27s or maybe mid to high 27s. So I think you're getting a gift here, risk-free on Warner Brothers. Every day that passes, ring the register. I'd be ringing the register. Wish I'd seen this, because look at the break. Look at when it broke 30. Like right at the open, flat bottom break, easy scalp trade.
Yeah, you guys, I'm in Netflix basically at these prices, back up to $96. The thing about this Netflix Warner Brothers deal is it's actually worth a lot less now than that $27, because part of it was Netflix stock.
It was $27.75.
No, but now it's worth probably $25 because Netflix stock.
No, it's mostly cash.
No, I know, but $4 of it was stock, right? And so I don't know. Now that's down 10%. So you're probably down to like maybe 27 change. I don't know what that value exactly is now, but I think it was valued at 108. So whatever shares, they're gonna have to figure that out. But that's part of the risk when you take a deal that involves some sort of stock, right? You're gonna have to, unfortunately, go with the ebbs and flows of the acquiring company if you accept that deal, right? And so Warner Brothers, they could accept Netflix, take that whatever it was, $4 or $5 in stock, and by the time this deal closes, Netflix will be a $200 stock. So then you'll be way better than the Paramount bid of 30. So there's just the board's going to figure it out. I'm not on the board. All right, so Uber, I'm just seeing right now, near day's low as well, 84 and change. To me, Uber's at a very interesting level. You're starting to slope up right now on the 200 period moving average right here on a 5-minute chart. So this little rounded bottom, I think, is going to be a decent opportunity right there to get more of Uber. I'm in at these levels, but I do think if we can get to 84.50 right there, not only is it that 200 period moving average, but it's also right there at 84.50. So, you know, you have some support there. What was resistance turning now into support. Now we broke it. Let's see if it does hold. But you do have a technical level there trying to help this trade out as well. So that could be a little level there for Uber. Tesla was the sort of the bell of the ball early, up to 450, 460. And wow, what a whoosh down to the downside. That's actually now... I mean, I'm still short the market. We just got a couple covers right now on that market. So now I'm getting less. We have about 13% or so left on the TQs as we take some more outs down into here, 57.30s rate, or 57.30s, the other way around, 53.70s, a good little out level. We'll wait to see if we can get a little bottom. And then I'm going to use the 50 period moving average. It may break before I get out of here and head to the gym, but 54.30 right there if that breaks. Look, my stop on this trade, and it's right here, it's 55.66. So we were stopping at, this was a $2 winner, of course, and we were stopping out of this in 17 cents higher. So this break of that pre-market, we were out. So 17 cents higher, which is why we start to debate, like, when we're 17 cents in the money, when we're 20 cents, 30 cents in the money, 50 cents in the money, now we're 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1. You know, at some point, you got to take a little bit of profit, and that's what we did right into here. Weren't certain that it was going to hold 55, but at the end of the day, it does. And yeah, bombs away here on the downside for that. Look, crypto's been getting crushed today again. So glad we talked about that BMNR short and don't have it, but there it is right there, IBIT taking out some levels again, 90,000 definitely coming into question there. We had Michael Noss talking, I think, about all these other random coins. I'm not sure exactly if he made any calls.
What was one of them?
I don't know.
It was the sheep
with hat.
Can I even chart that?
Well, yeah, on Binance or on Coinbase or something probably.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
No, it's not with, it's with? Oh, I didn't know that.
Who knows?
It's sheep with. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, why not? I mean, it might as well be something ridiculous like that anyways. Oh, sorry. There was like a pop-up there I accidentally clicked on. So that is at the low of the day as well. I'm not even reading what that number is. It's like one of those like 0.000 something, but trending down. So essentially following along what's happening everywhere else. Get this out of here. I gotta get my Bitcoin chart back up. I don't want sheep with hat to be up there the next time I'm trying to look at BTC on my 15-minute. So there's Bitcoin retesting 90,000. It looks like. Hey, how about this trend line? Shout out to all of the litany of our viewers. So I want to give a big shout out to all of the viewers when I was only ever looking at support and resistance on Bitcoin. And like, I had my 4 lines of support and resistance. And somebody was like, Neil, draw a trend line. Get that out of the way. Draw a trend line going all the way back to 2023. Low, like down here, end of the year. I'm like, okay, this consolidation off like the 28,000 level. So I'm like, oh, I drew that. And not only was it a good short when it broke down, now look at what it's doing. That same trend line is turning into resistance on Bitcoin on the way back up. So you're wondering, like, why does this line finding resistance every single time? Because you guys were pointing this one out. So I'm leaving that one up there. If we can't break back above this prior multi-year trend line on Bitcoin, then I'm not convinced we aren't still heading down to, there we go, reset the chart view, all the way down to those mid-70s. Like we were before. No breaky here, then I still think we have a chance to get those mid-70s where allegedly Michael Saylor has his price. I don't know. That's what people say. They say 74. It's support on the chart either way. I could care less that he has his price there. The way I see it, if everyone always talks about, oh, but if it gets underneath there, he'll have to liquidate. Man, if he had to liquidate, it won't matter. It'll move so far, so fast, you'll just know. And if you had to stop, you'll probably get wrecked. There won't be liquidity, so it's almost like it doesn't even make a difference. Like if you're holding it and he has to liquidate, unless you can guess before when it happens, you're just gonna see the craziest move ever and there's nothing you can do about it. So I don't even bother speculating about it because what's the point? I'm not getting out. Anyways, I'd probably look for an opportunity to buy if that happens. honest with you.
Yeah, and I don't know where this whole liquidation talk comes from. Like, I haven't heard him say that ever.
He's never said
know.
it. I've never seen any direct evidence that he would have to. Like, someone show me the math. Show me the math.
Yeah, exactly. It's not mathing, and that's the whole point. Okay, so, all right, real quick, man. More outs on the TQs. It's 10:43 right now. Palantir's also hitting the skid today. I mean, anything that has been aggressively moving the last couple days, if not weeks, you know, is going to get hit when the Nasdaq's down 1.3%. So there goes Palantir. You know, wasn't really on the radar too much today, and this is the kind of momentum name that we're talking about with PLTR. Again, I like this 170 area. We did get out of some of this exactly at 175. So we'll wait for maybe a reload. I don't want to just get out at 175 and buy it back at 170. I'm not that smart to do that. So I don't want to play that kind of a game. I like to hold things in the long term for a little bit longer. And we've been holding Palantir since like $11 or I don't know even what our average price is. So this is going to be a good one there. We actually did buy one day. I was sitting at home and it absolutely cracked. I think I was right here. It was this day on Friday on a rebalance. And we actually went in. I was screaming in the chat, actually. We bought some 130s that day. So that's why my average price is a little bit changed there. But anyways, Palantir coming back in down now 3%. On the day, the name that we want to get out of and that we might have to now wait until Monday. Well, maybe. I still like this 210. We'll put an offer there, see if we get filled on Lululemon. So that's going to be a good day one play there. We talked about Target waiting for 100. That's falling back in. Obviously, nothing today is going to be away from this market. I mean, the market is downside. There are going to be some positive names. I mean, this is why we have, first of all, this trade rate going on right now. They're looking at SOXL. Obviously, with Broadcom hitting down near that 10% and trying to bounce off of the SSR level. This could be a long now for Broadcom, especially if this market bounces. That's 363 right there. Debating going long maybe there on Broadcom. That could be a good little thing to talk about moving forward. I don't mind Broadcom. The hot list there, Tesla back down to 450. So that's something. There's Broadcom there. We just talked about Palantir, Nvidia, Netflix. This FRMI stock is another one that was on our list. Yeah, Fermi was on our list there.
They got to cancel some kind of contract.
Yeah, so down 30% there for Farmy there. That's not great. Oracle day 2 play down to 192 again, down 3%. They got going down 4%. They got going yesterday. That's for sure. BBAI just turned red again. They went up to $7 again. Now they turned red on this most recent move down. And then there's Netflix chilling out at the price we bought. And Robinhood, man, not doing well. Robinhood. Ramin asked me if she should buy some Robinhood yesterday. I said, no, not yet. But it is a downside play there. I actually do like Robinhood at some point here. It's going to go with a little bit of crypto. So I'd like to see crypto settle down before we start saying like, you know, let's get more into Robinhood. But I'm not in it at all. So we're looking to get something. There's the little bit of a break. We just got 85s as we talked. We're stopping out at a 20 break. Actually, did I put 20? I thought I put 15s. Yeah, I put 15s. But I guess it's 21s. We might get to 15 real quick here. I'm going to change that order. So we have the ability to put in all these. Oh, I have to show Joe. He wants me to show him how to use the stop order. All right, 54. Let's go 20. Because we only have now 10% left, let's go 54.26 as our last hurrah out. So we're going to always try to hold something for this 50-period moving average, and 10% is about right. If we can do a little bit more, that would be good. Yeah, Wally Sparks, you're holding target until 170. Okay, I don't have those expectations for me on target. We're long 85, 86. I do want to get some out at 100. Is my spot there. We've just sort of bounced off of that a couple times now. 170 would be real sweet. I think there is a possibility that it gets going. I think 100, then we can, if you're not going to do that, then maybe this 105, 106 area. But yeah, a break of the 200 and a hold above, man. The last time we broke the 200 was at 150. So we're in at half price of that. Let's see what happens now on TGT. I don't mind selling some of this and getting into some Walmart maybe.
I was trying to show that chart. Why do I have no data on my chart?
Yeah, or going to Costco.
You remember Walmart moved to the Nasdaq. So like our chart, I'll use my e-signal chart for Walmart. No, I think, whoops. There we go. There's a weekly chart. I didn't want a monthly chart. But look at the weekly chart on Walmart. If you're adjacent to them and you're not doing this, then you've got some issues. But on the weekly, this has been a really good buy, well in front of the 50-period moving average on Walmart. So just buy it every time it gets into that supply zone, and I think you can do really, really well. Today, whatever. Like today, it's not doing much, but you might be able to tell it never broke its low. And it's actually green on the session and above yesterday's high. So relative strength in Walmart and some of those names. Also Apple trying to regain the volume weighted average price as well. But what I'm tracking right now, and we were talking about it earlier, sometimes you have an out, adhere to your out. Look what happens to silver after it loses VWAP. On a 15-minute, it's starting to, there's a bottoming tail candle on the 15. If we can even just close above 57 at the end of this 15-minute candle, which will be at 11 o'clock, close above this 57 level, or maybe even play a breakout at 57.25 be the next thing I'm looking for on SLV. But we'll take our time. It's in the middle of the day and it's a Friday, right? So you want to make sure when you get a falling knife like this, it's actually setting up along instead of just hitting that bid. I see Bob Curran in the chat mentioning Oklo. It's kind of weird that we have not. I don't think we've talked about a single nuclear name, or certainly not a quantum name the last couple of days. Nuclear name because GE Vernova was moving around a little bit. I know we talked some SMR this week, but certainly not all of those names have been discussed. Oklo, however you pronounce it, doesn't matter, is still in a pullback mode. 5% today. Even when it's strong, it's not breaking prior day highs. So that's as long as it's doing that, you're still in this little malaise slide back in. Feels like we're still maybe either retesting 80 or get to that 50 period. None of this looks all that constructive for a breakout yet, but I do feel like there's a moment happening potentially. Like look at SMR. Like it's starting to base out. Like you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but look at the accumulation at $18 and it just held a higher low. So you're starting to get the signs of that, what's the word? Support level, or people getting more constructive on it, whatever it might be, or institutional buying starting to come back in and catch a bid on some of these high flyers, which have gotten really badly beaten up. Like these have lost a lot of value in the last couple of months here. So I'm looking where to nibble back in. I was going to do it at $13, but I'm starting to think if we hold this 18 for the rest of the year, then I'm going to buy it between 18 and 20.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, we got a new little desk area there now, so that's going to be
I forgot,
real nice.
You've got AEO 70 cents away from $26. Why does that matter? Because $26 is it 26 exactly? Oh, no, it's not. Does it have to break this high at 26 quarters? Does it just have to get to 26?
26.
Okay, so it's just 26. Doesn't even have to make a fresh high. It just has to get adjacent to it, and that's American Eagle Outfitters up again as it continues to get the old City Sweetie bump.
Yeah, I made a good earnings call there for AEO, and of course, feeling out some Lulu love today, so that sends that name a lot higher. All right, so boom. This is why we sit here, we talk about trading, we talk about these levels, the 50-period moving average, right there. We bounce completely off of it. We do not get stopped out. We take another fill down there, and now we look to break lower. So good. Now let's wait to see. I'm still bidding 55.36s right at that bottom. I should. That's too low. Let's go to 53. Let's go to 50s again, and we'll sit there and see if we get that fill, because we're going to come back and we're going to be able to figure this all out. But we only have one trade today. It is the TQs, and sometimes one trade is all that you need. All right, so Alibaba, good bottom there, looking to see about where we are right now on this stock. Like, this is that barcode area that we saw yesterday, so 156. That could be a good one right now. So there could be something right there as well. So whatever, hopefully that can come in to play at some point there. All right, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, I wanted to have a quick little look there. I haven't traded it today, but I'm just looking at what it's doing. FNMA right here, down right now 6%, yuck. So again, this is a name that, goes with the market. We had some talk there. I think it was Michael Burry gave a report there. It must have been, I put some volume. Yeah, it must have been this last couple of days there. We got some spikes up in volume where they had mentioned possibly this name coming back to market, and sort of, President Trump talking about the state of, and it wasn't Trump. If Adara was here, She would remember the guy's name, but you know, trying to bring back Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right? And it's just this was $1.30 a year ago in November when President Trump became president, and then he put it on sort of a to-do list. We saw today the actionable trading maybe in MSOS. As opposed to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, but down 6% right now. Looking to see about that $9. I mean, even though this is a very volatile kind of name that we look at on a daily basis, it still is, you know, helping out on this 200-period moving average. So $9.27 right there, a good bottom to be put in there for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And hey, look, we want to get more viewers, obviously. So if you guys are watching, hit, oh, wow, 1.2K. Thank you so much. That's awesome. We want to say thank you for that. 7,500 of you watching, hit that like button. Give us a good little thumbs up right there. Yeah, Rivian is really pumping right there today. So shout out to DJ Grease. I'm probably going to, like, you know, maybe I'll cash out of my Rivian position and buy some FSD right there. We got a $20 super chat for that today. But there goes Rivian, up 20%. We're in this name, and I'm just really impressed at where it's gone. And I said the next time it comes up here, maybe we would think about getting it out. But thanks to Sharif's morning note there, I read all about it. Half price, their FSD, and they're working on it. They're getting LiDAR sensors ready to go. And, you know, if FSD and autonomy is what's driving Tesla and the robotic side of it, then yeah, for Rivian as well. So let's see where that goes. The future's trying to get lower right now as well. We're still holding on to that trade. Nvidia's breaking low. Broadcom's now that 10% and going lower there. So sucks to be long all these tech names, and my portfolio is forever long and real heavy in the tech space. So not happy with this move down today, but ebbs and flows of the market.
No doubt about it, everybody. Look, the market's always going to have those ebbs and flows, and when you're trading, you know, you got to sometimes get left brain, right brain, right? Your long-term account and your trading account, and if you get too wrapped up in that, then you're going to have some trouble. The other thing we talk about a lot, and shout out to obviously Trade the Pool, you can see out in front of you, is when you're trading somebody else's money or they're taking the risk, then it can be a little bit easier to just make your plays, focus on discipline, focus on your strategy, and not necessarily the same fear of losing when it's your own money. So Trade the Pool is engineering that with its limited risk trading model. So you can use funded capital where they're going to take the downside. You hit the profit target, you get 70% of the profits with Trade the Pool. So you get a real opportunity out there, everybody. The revolution they're talking about is limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. You can visit tradethepool.com, scan that QR code you see right on screen in front of you for your first evaluation. And I want to shout out to, we had Mitch on Tuesday. I want to give a shout out to him as well. So appreciate you for sure, Mitch. And yeah, I just saw Jacob saying MSOS, big move. Not terribly good at holding on to it, however. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was just now. Oh, volume spike just now. I didn't hear anything in my ear. So let me just quickly scan, not seeing anything on the radar. Maybe this was just some kind of random technical level, because this was just going down. Sliding since the open. There was one major push, and then consolidating, now breaking back out. So there might be something new here. I'm going to say I've heard nothing just yet, but they are in play. Why? Because as you saw in our note this morning, the president hinting that they could push to reschedule cannabis as a Schedule 3, I believe, like along with painkillers, which would be a good story. I just question how much it would lead to, like, limited upside in terms of profitability and actual margins and growth for some of these individual names. But a good bump here on MSOS, Tilray, CGC, and even Sundial probably got a bump.
Yeah, I'd say that is probably true. And if you are interested in the cannabis sector, you may have something called the munchies.
Wow, we've got the munchies.
Let's figure out what's for lunch over here. We talked about yesterday was American flag. So now they're putting these flags on. We talked about today would be Spanish. Yesterday with America, we went back and forth and discussed like what could be some American food. We talked about mac and cheese, we talked about burgers. It turned out to be fried chicken. So that was apparently really good. We'll have some there later on. Next time it's here, we went out yesterday and did not have to enjoy any of that. Good ratings though. You got it good, and Joe said he liked it as well. But okay, today, Spanish, and it is chicken paella. So peas, corn, peppers, tomatoes, grilled garlic broccoli. I don't know. Sounds good to me, with a side Caesar, apparently. So chicken paella, I think that's, wow. Okay, I mean, there it is, man. Nice move down. We're getting everything we need and more right now in the S&P 500. No idea what just happened in the market, but there it goes, man. And hats off to everybody that has that. It's a props kind of trade there today for the TQQs. There it is.
Story right now. I'm going to put it in the
chat. Yeah, let's go.
Some Oracle data centers for OpenAI delayed from 2028 from 2027. Again, Oracle data centers for OpenAI delayed a full year from 2027 to 2028. Oracle for sure is dumped. Well, okay, I shouldn't say for sure. Everything just dumped on that headline. That was that whole canary in the coal mine story. Oracle's right back to yesterday's lows, dropped $6 just now. So that was the shoe left to drop, was an actual story that puts further weakness on this whole AI spend. I'm sure Nvidia, look, everything's gonna have dropped here. Like Nvidia just dropped a couple of dollars. I was showing you guys Intel. What else? Broadcom, I'm sure would have dropped on that as well. Broadcom, $360 for Broadcom, down 11%.
Yeah, see you later.
So just, I don't know. I should have put it up on the screen for everybody, but wow, that's a headline you don't want. Is this gonna work?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I just got that tool for us here, so there you go, everybody out there. That is a headline dropping the market. The Oracle shoe has now dropped.
There we go. All right, Gary, go. Yeah, there we go. That's that energy that we're talking about. Good job there, Neil. Let's keep it going, guys. We got a lot of energy, obviously, here. We've got a lot of energy on the midday show as well. So, yeah, man, good to hear that come through. And now, without any further ado, we want to say thank you to Brendan for filling in for Adair. Great job, obviously, there today. I actually messaged Brendan, and I'm like, this is why you're the best, man. The guy could do absolutely everything. Shout out to Brendan. Great job there today. I hope you guys enjoy this futures trade. It was, obviously, it's done quite well there. Now $2 and change in the money. We lost early. Made it back late. Good trade there. Oracle downside, there's the news. So watch out for this play. Now down 1.7%. This market, she could get a lot worse. So buckle up. Stay tuned. We're back at 2 p.m. That's Neil. I'm Sean. Ciao for now. Enjoy your lunch.